Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United direction. Today we're talking about so much things that's happened in the transfer market, the world in football, Man United. We also got a Chelsea fan here, so we're going to put everything together and get right to it. Joining me today from UK, representing UK as of now, is Vimil, the analyst. Vim,
hey guys, how you all doing?
I'm all right. Joining us from Tampa, I have to always remember Tampa, is Devin. Devin, welcome to the show, brother.
Hi, thank you for having me on as usual. Hello to the panel. Hello to everybody watching.
And we have Rodrigo representing Chelsea crew in United States. Houston with us. Rodrigo, we haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you guys again.
Right. Devin, let's go straight into you. Devin, United have had a very tumultuous week, starting from celebrating the Carabao Cup, getting a last minute United fan twiddling the thumb, searching the internet, got a signing last minute. Then before they were able to enjoy it, boom, Mason Greenwood, boom, player got sent off. Summarize that for me quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely been quite the roller coaster, to say the least. You go from seeing Eriksen getting injured, and you're thinking, oh God, like this is why we needed more reinforcements. And on top of that, I'm so angry that Carroll was not given a straight red card for that. And I'm going to be angry about that for a while. But thankfully, Ten Hag was able, and the board were able to get in Sabitzer as a last minute loan signing, which kind of looked, and in a way, it's going to sound weird, but Eriksen's injury could be a blessing in disguise, because if that didn't happen, we probably did not get a next midfielder for coverage. And now it helps us out because, especially now with Casemiro out for the next 3 matches, it could be very vital for us. I am happy that we're doing well. We're winning matches. Obviously the red card happened. I'm upset that only one player was sent off when he was not the only player to have hands around the neck. I am torn about the appeal, to say the least, because if the FA deems the appeal frivolous, then he could miss 4 matches instead of 3, which then takes him out for the cup final. And I think that we could win the 2 matches against Leeds and Leicester without him, to be very honest. So, and give him some rest. He has 12 days now to rest and get ready for Barcelona. As far as the Greenwood situation goes, I support whatever decision Ten Hag makes, because he's the one that's around them. He's the one that's around the dressing room, everything else like that. We can speculate all we want and this and that, but I trust Ten Hag's decision, whatever he does.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was great. Right. Let me run to Rodrigo. Rodrigo representing Chelsea. Haven't seen in a long time, but welcome back. Rodrigo, a lot of fans were a bit upset or scared and hope he didn't buy certain players. Other teams were trying to get, but at the last minute you came through, you bought so many players. What is going on?
Tell me. I don't understand how they bought João Felix, and he is a good player, but he hasn't shown anything. He struggled at Real Madrid, at Atletico Madrid for some time, and I think Cholo was great to see the back of him. Midrick seems like a good player. He's got now Enzo Fernandez. They needed someone in the midfield, someone that can hold on to the ball and pass it. And against Fulham, he's the only player that impressed me. Him and the goalkeeper are the only players that impressed me, because I thought Fulham played better. Now, again, just spending that kind of money, especially in the January transfer window, can make sense, right? If you're looking towards the Champions League, but it's just they bought so many players, and some can play. Like Adebayo is out of the Champions League; he's not on it to make way for these 3 new signings. So a lot of stuff you have to ask us questions. Does this make sense? Will this help? Will this really strengthen the team? And again, like I told you guys at the beginning of last season, it's wait and see. So far, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with the owner. I don't really care for the guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but as far as owning Chelsea, now they also supposedly bought this guy, this sporting director from Red Bull Leipzig. Did he make those decisions? I don't know. It's just going to help a guy like Graham Potter, who to me is out of his depth.
Wow.
Right? I see him out of his depth. The pressure that a club like Chelsea or Manchester United or Liverpool or Arsenal hold every year, pressure from the fans, pressure from the club, pressure from the media, to be able to deal with that remains to be seen. But again, here we are. Chelsea is storming back from 11th place to 9th place, right?
All right, a little baby steps, right? Baby steps.
Yeah.
But I
yeah,
think
baby
you're planning
steps.
for the new season. I mean, for next season or the summer. But I think that whole plan of what did you guys think of this buying players and giving them those 8-year instrumental contracts? Vim,
So 8-year contracts.
you know, yeah, whereby they're
Mm.
paying them in little bits, whereby it doesn't affect. So it found a way to get around the financial
Yeah.
fair play.
Yeah, but I mean, why the hell would a
Crookish
player
or
want to sign?
genius?
Well, it's good for the club because they can spread it over many installments and many years. But it's bad for a player who wants to commit themselves to a club for 8 years. What if they're a flop in season 1 or season 2? What do they do for the next 6 seasons? They do what Phil Jones does: look after the nursing home.
You know, but the question you have to ask is something like this: is there a plan? Is there a plan, a project that justifies this kind of spending? That's the question you ask there. I mean, just buying players a lo loco, that we say in Mexico, a lo loco, just to buy players without some kind of a plan and say, okay, this is a plan for the next 2-3 years to buy.
Right.
Quick question, Rodrigo. Does Todd Bailey have a lot of tax dollars that he needs to spend elsewhere? Like, has he got too much cash he needs to get rid of out of the country?
You know, as I'm saying, I don't know if if someone's putting a bug in his ear, or this is something you need for marketing, to compete with the likes of Manchester United, Barcelona, Real Madrid. I don't know. So my question is, when you buy like this, is there a plan? And the plan's always got to fit what's going on in the pitch.
Exactly.
Because that's where it all matters at.
100% on
that's the
pitch.
question. Mm-hmm.
Right. Vim, United go for a tumultuous week this week. Summarize where we went from celebrating going to Wembley for the first time in 6 years, biting our fingernails for the transfer deadline, Mason Greenwood, Casemiro getting sent off. Here we are.
I mean, Casemiro, come on. I mean, he's always had disciplinary issues. I mean, he's always picking up yellow cards in Madrid, always. So we know that he has that. He got that yellow card before the Arsenal game. In the last 10 minutes of the game
against Palace. Against Palace.
We needed him for Arsenal. So, what do? He is what he is. You can't change him. So you just have to manage him better and keep him away from those situations where he can get himself sent off.
Right.
There's no reason for him to get involved in that hustle on the side of the pitch and put his arm around someone or put his arms around someone's neck.
Right.
He'll know better. Now we've got VAR and we've got a different format or different type of referee here that you can't get away with this stuff. So maybe he'll learn for the future. But yeah, he's key. We need him. It's a good thing we've got Sabitzer. It's a shame Eriksen is out. So now we're going to miss 2 key midfielders for a number of games. As for Mason Greenwood, well, I mean, we talked about this before. I think, Joe, you were in the show as well. With a young kid with so much money, this is a misdemeanor that happened amongst people he knows, and certain pressure could be applied or favors asked for, saying, listen, don't testify against me.
Go on, Vim.
So yeah, because it's with his girlfriend and other people may have come forward as witnesses, and he could have possibly asked for favors, say, look, don't testify, don't ruin my career. And that seems like what's happened. That witnesses have fallen away
completely.
And without the whole thing with the CPS is that you've got to have enough weight of evidence to take it forward, because these things cost millions.
Yes.
So is it in the interest of the government to spend millions of pounds when your case is weakened dramatically? And in this case, it's not. If the key witnesses have fallen away and they don't want to testify, there's no case to answer.
Right.
So, he did what he did, and it's very bad behavior, and it's probably part of his character. And the burning question is he still good at football? He's taken a long break from the game. Does he still have the skills and the prowess? We'll have to see. I think, we try him out. He's still under contract. If he plays well, he plays well, but he's going to have to behave himself now.
Right. Okay. Joe. Hello, Joe. Welcome back. How are you? Happy Sunday. We can't hear you.
Mute, Joe.
You're on mute. We
Can't hear you, Joe. Maybe can you hear us?
Give us a thumbs up. You can hear us?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
can't hear you.
All right. Let me get Devin to step in. Devin, with everything that went on this week, let's pick out one of those things. The Mason Greenwood thing. I know we are, you have a lot of fans who are looking at it from the football perspective only. There's the moral perspective and there's the legal perspective. So, as it is, the case was thrown out, as you know. But most people forgot, or maybe it's because it got taken so long. She retracted her statement in April of last year that, she's not testifying or she wants the charges dropped. So when the Crown prosecution said there's no more witnesses or withdrawn, it's either these witnesses are either bought off, paid off, don't come, is he the ticket? And they're still together. They're still together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So is he the meal ticket out of the financial situation whereby you got to stay with this guy, you better forgive each other and let's get this show on? It could be that. We don't know. As a Man United fan, as a human being, the only thing they did, they never denied the video is fake. The incident happened. That we know it happened. They didn't deny it. They didn't say it was photoshopped or edited. It's just that she said she didn't release it, but it happened. She's forgiving him. Should the world just okay, let's keep it moving?
All right. Well, from the research I've been doing and hearing this from people, she comes from a pretty wealthy family to begin with, from what I've seen and what I've read. So I'm not necessarily thinking that she needs the money for doing this. The next thing that I think about when it comes to Greenwood, he has a little bit of a track record for doing things, getting himself in trouble. I could understand if I was caught for all the things that I did when I was his age, yeah, it would be even worse than what with the exception of the alleged sexual assault. But I did a lot of stupid things when I was young too, as well, except besides that. So I kind of see some benefit of the doubt with that, but it just seems like it's a pattern where you're not learning from it. The next problem with this now is the squad right now, the first team dressing room, they're gelling pretty well. They've already gotten rid of a lot of what we call them toxic players in the summer. Pogba at the top of that. He's now Juventus's problem and they want to get rid of him. So you just spent time getting rid of this. You also got rid of another problem right before the World Cup in Ronaldo. So you have something good going now, and you could potentially want to bring him back into the dressing room right now. And you don't know how the players are going to react to that. Because remember, a whole bunch of them unfollowed him right as all this stuff was happening to begin with. Instead of sticking by, they immediately unfollowed him. So that, to me, already sets a bad precedent for that. With that being said, I do think that he's going to need quite a bit of therapy before he even steps on a field again, no matter where, if he plays at United or he goes somewhere else. There's no way you can throw him right back in there because it's going to be constant abuse from a lot of fans. Another thing is I don't think we've ever heard an actual apology come out of him about anything regarding this matter. And this is something where I think this is society in general, where it seems like in today's society, the court of public opinion matters more than the court of law, because you have to use the notion of innocent until proven guilty. He was never found guilty. Obviously, the case was dropped. So you have to look at it from that perspective. But at the same time, I am sure that somebody else in here knows somebody who was a victim of sexual assault. So obviously you have to take that side of it as well. So when you factor in all these decisions together, this is why I'm saying I cannot come up with a choice myself, but I will back whatever decision the manager makes, because I have enough trust in him from what I've seen for him to do what he believes is the right call, and I will stick by him whatever he makes.
Okay. Kenneth, welcome to the show. Hello, mate. Kenneth, hello.
Hello.
How are you? Happy Sunday, mate. Representing the UK crew. Kenneth, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Good. Right. I just got introduced in saying we've had Man United as a club have gone through qualifying for the Wembley. We're getting a last-minute deal in the summer transfer, in the winter January transfer. Mason Greenwood, Casemiro sending off. Summarize it for me, please.
Yeah, it's been a Yeah, roller coaster, right? But yeah, in a positive way, apart from the Greenwood situation, I mean, United have definitely turned the corner. I think we can confidently say that. Like teams are coming to Old Trafford, and we've managed to re-establish the fear factor. So teams are coming to Old Trafford thinking, look, it's gonna be a long day, you know. Whether it's Man City, whether it's Liverpool, whether it's Arsenal, you name it, any team comes to Old Trafford, they know they're in for it. So that's a positive.
Right.
We're through to the Carabao Cup final, which is fantastic. If you look at the history of that competition, in terms of new managers coming in, they've used that as a springboard to go on and achieve great things in their careers. The likes of Pep, a few other managers as well have done that. Mourinho as well.
He loved the League Cup, Mourinho. He loves that League Cup.
Yeah. So it just gives you that, especially for Manchester United Football Club, we need that trophy to actually move, because we haven't won anything for 6 years. So winning the get to the final is great, but
winning in the final is different. Getting there is one thing, but winning it is another.
Exactly. There's no point getting to the final if you're not going to win. I'd rather lose in the semi-final. Yeah, because at least okay, we didn't get to the final. It'd be disappointing, but can you imagine losing the final? Like after you losing the Europa League final as well, it's like we're serial chokers. But with ETH and Casemiro, my guy Casemiro, we've got a great chance.
Right.
So yeah, that's a positive. On the Greenwood situation, it's a tough one. It's really a tough one, and I like the fact that United have to, United want to investigate internally. They're not doing any investigations internally, really. All they're really doing is speaking to sponsors and saying, look, if this guy comes back in, is he going to affect your market?
Your brand?
Is he going to affect your brand? How would your customers see it? And they're speaking to, I'm sure the spearhead of this investigation will be Manchester United's commercial director. Not just the sponsors we have now, but future sponsorships. Especially when it comes to like women and rape and attempted rape and things like that. It's very, very sensitive. So it's great that that they're doing that. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If you ask me now, I'll probably say it's not looking good for Greenwood that he plays for United again. But yeah, let's see where it goes.
Right.
Quick question: What's Man United going to investigate? The criminal charges have been dropped. It's a criminal.
That's what I'm saying. They're not investigating it.
Why would they?
They're not speaking. They're just speaking to sponsors and saying, "Look,
I don't know what they're doing."
That's what they do. That's literally because if they bring him in,
I think it's a PR thing. It's all a PR thing. Does it cause reputational damage for the club? Does such a big brand not want to be associated with someone who's potentially a rapist? That's the reputational damage they have to think about. Yeah,
exactly.
Those of you in UK, the newspapers today all carried that the United players don't want him back currently. Maybe for this season, they don't want him back to.
Not just the players, the staff as well.
That says a message.
Important. That is very important. So players, yes, but the staff. You're talking about people that work in the office,
right?
They don't. They're split. In that decision, you got some of them are women. Obviously, you got women there. You got people men
with daughters
that be sensitive to it. Like, imagine if that was your daughter and you saw that video with. I don't know how genuine it is. Someone was saying that Greenwood actually paid off her parents' mortgage.
Would not be surprised.
I won't be surprised.
Something like that's gone on. Yeah, something's gone on. He's paid some, because the thing is, for the police to drop the charges, it means that the witnesses would have categorically.
And they said witnesses, which is more than one person.
Yes, all the people involved, the girl, her parents, everyone that were set to press charges would have categorically said, nope, we don't want to go ahead. We don't want to be involved anymore. And once you do that, the police are basically, their hands are tied because they can't take it to court. They can't take it. You failed. You've already lost the back because the judge would just throw it out of court.
Right.
So that's what's happened.
Let me hear from a Chelsea perspective. Rodrigo, quickly. Before we Bems, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you
We're
doing,
fine.
man?
We're fine. Not bad. Not bad. Ben's representing the United States. Rodrigo, as a football fan and as a father, what's your stand on a United player? You know, young 21, not making an excuse for him. The video's there. It happened. It wasn't. They didn't deny the video is fake or edited. No, it happened. It's just that the people involved said we won't testify anymore.
Well, I'm sure there's personal reasons why that happened, and maybe his girlfriend, his wife forgave him. But the fact of the matter is, it did happen, and what's making it also very interesting today because we have another case going on a global level. You have Dani Alves, right? And I don't know if you guys kept up. Dani Alves is sitting in the Barcelona prison for sexual assault in the club in Barcelona on December 30th, right? Where he's changed his story, he's contradicted himself. So, I mean, the whole thing now is pretty sensitive, right? So, again, you just said it. The court of public opinion is the one that really matters because of the perception. He didn't go to trial, he wasn't proven guilty because he didn't go to trial, because charges were dropped for whatever reason. It doesn't mean he didn't do it. We saw the video. So, I agree. There's, like with Ken said, there's people in the organization that don't feel comfortable seeing him. And again, not going to be ladies, not going to be, and again, as a father, like I said, a father and a husband, you would, it's a sensitive issue. And I think first, this kid, you can't just put him on the field. He's got to go through some kind of
Rehabilitation or something.
Yes. And he's got to still, prove that he's capable in society. So, he's got to.
He's still with her. They're still together.
Yeah, but a lot of battered women do that. They put up with it. Unfortunately,
they stay with the abuser.
Unfortunately, they do that. I never understand that, but
Right.
it's
Stockholm, isn't it Stockholm syndrome or something like that?
Yeah. And again, but he shouldn't be allowed to go on the field that quickly. He needs to go to some kind of a some kind of management program, do some community service, and prove himself worthy of the trust that's given to him, because he's also a role model for a lot of young fans, and to behave like this is inexcusable.
He could do some community service at the club, like a lot of the metalwork needs painting.
No, but
you're looking for free manual labor, you.
Well, that's community service.
No, but community as far as something that will show that he's
shows remorse.
Yes, and that he works with people outside of the club, and he's got a way to go. But
right.
I don't think people should think, you just need to play him. No.
I spoke to some. You won't believe United fans. Some fans I spoke to said, Martial is injured. Why can't we just bring him in? I'm like, this guy hasn't played or trained in over a year. I don't even think psychologically, mentally, he's even ready to play football as of now. So
what if he's lost his skills?
Exactly.
But
that's just fans who are just fickle.
No, you don't lose your skills. You lose your base, you lose your ability. You have to get back into it, but you never lose your skills. Now you have to bring them back. Get your body back into shape.
I play football, and sometimes there's players that have come back after a long injury, and they're just not the same player.
Everybody's different.
They've lost their tricks.
But they have to
their fast feet
because they have to. They have to bring themselves back slowly. They have to get back to readjust to the game, get their pace back, and get used to it. But this guy's got a head problem. His problem's up here.
The other thing as well, don't you think it's a common theme with footballers? You hear a lot of domestic abuse cases, abusing women. They get, footballers shoot to fame very quickly. They have a lot of money, a lot of power. It seems their perception of women changes. They think they can have everyone. And if they don't get someone, if they don't get someone immediately, they take it as an insult. They abuse their power.
Not just footballers.
All stars. They abuse that
celebrities.
power.
A lot of well-known celebrities are in the same problem because they don't like to be told no.
Right.
Right.
Let me bring in Bems. Bems, how are you, mate?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Right. We just quickly summarize for me how this week has gone for United. Qualifying to Wembley, last minute signing, Mason Greenwood, Casemiro again sent off. Where are we? Tell me how you feel in that. Summarize that for me, please.
I mean, it's been interesting week, I guess, most especially because the Mason Greenwood story that just came out. I mean, I would say in that regard, I mean, in my opinion, yeah, I know different fans all over the world are saying, oh, fans have their own opinion. Some say, oh yeah, bring it back into the team. Other fans say no. I mean, I think it's a very sensitive topic. As it's everyone has their own opinion, but in this situation, we have we as United, we're in a good vein of form. The players are clicking together. There's
unity in the dressing room.
harmony. Yeah, there's unity in the dressing room. That mentality thing is there. These guys are fighting for each other. I just think in this time and place, I think it's the wrong time to talk about Mason Greenwood coming into the team, this or that. I think the team should just keep going the way they're going. When it comes to Mason Greenwood, eventually, decision of whether to come in or not is join the team. I mean, like you guys were saying, there's the court of public opinion. Those recordings are still out there. So regardless of what you say, I mean, the club are going to really take their time to really look into this. In my opinion, I don't see how he joins the team at all. I don't see how he plays for United ever again, just because it's just a lot to go through. I mean, talk about sponsors. I heard sponsors might not want to see Greenwood wearing is in their jerseys anymore or whatever. So there's a lot to go into it.
Right.
But so that's Mason Greenwood's situation. But as when it comes to United and this Casemiro red card, in my opinion, when I watched that video over and over again,
right,
I don't think it's a red card.
Right.
It wasn't a red card. It wasn't a red card. If you look at what happened afterwards, they're hugging and all that stuff. Yes, the video doesn't look good because it's in slow motion, and when you put something in slow motion, it looks like that's exactly what he's doing for a long time.
It stays on the hand longer because it takes
for a long period of time. So that slow motion thing is just useless in my opinion. I mean, that's not a red card when I look at it again. But yet again, as they say, do not give the referee an opportunity to book you, right?
It.
So that's it right there. You can't. So in that sense, it's just sad. It's just sad that he's been given the red card because of that. But he gave the referee the opportunity to do that. So
make a decision,
I mean,
should United appeal it?
I would say no, man. I would say no because the reason why.
No.
Yeah,
they won't on the right.
Yeah,
so Ken, you're saying
if you don't get it,
don't appeal it.
The risk is too great.
Yeah, the risk is too much. If you don't win it, then you get an additional game tacked onto that. It's not worth it. Yeah.
But okay, then
I don't know if that additional game is the final though. I don't know. You got what additional game?
Yeah, it will be the final because it doesn't include European games, just English games. But what about the guy holding Fred's neck? What happened there? How about he not being sent off?
I think what the team needs to do is file a separate grievance for that particular issue alone. Don't tie it in to whatever. Just be like, okay, if you're gonna come at us, we gotta come at for y'all.
Yeah.
So that like it'll force the FA to have to make a decision as to what exactly is supposed to be considered violent conduct, because it seems like there's one rule for Manchester United, and there's a separate rule for Crystal Palace. Because clearly, like I saw that live, like he was actually like hitting Fred in the neck. So, it is what it is. At the same time, I don't want to hear anything about like players make mistakes or whatever. Is passionate. Casemiro is 30 years old. That's a 30-year-old veteran, professional footballer. He should know better. He should know the only difference between what happened here and what would have happened in La Liga. Like the fact that he was able to hold on or stay on his neck for so long, and the player didn't completely just flop to the ground and act like He just, you know,
They're
just split us
suffocating.
up. You know, like if this was La Liga, like, so you already know what the mode is. You already know what the setting is when it comes to, like, he's had to navigate that for so long to come to the Prem and then just be like, oh yeah, these are Englishmen, you know, like, I don't know why he thought that was okay here in the Prem, you know, especially with VAR. And like that ref, he already seemed like I know whatever, it's always gonna seem like that because that's the team we follow. He already seemed like he wasn't really fucking with us like that whole game. You know, like especially
the
especially
decisions
when
were
he
really
had to
bad.
go to the VAR for the handball. But as he neither here there, right? As far as the Mason Greenwood thing, bro, if I don't understand this like there's like a group of fans that feel like this kid, even if let's say the entire thing was completely fabricated and he was completely innocent in all things, right?
Right.
He still would not be mentally ready to come back into this team.
Obviously.
This is not, you know, like if you even take away the innocent or guilty, drop charges, you take all of that away, right? The stuff that this kid had to gone through the last year or so, right? There's no way he's in the mental state to come back into this team.
Obviously, yeah.
So the idea of him possibly coming back and, you know, he's a potential new signing and he's just gonna come in and ball, like that's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. Like that is a complete fantasy world.
Yeah, some of them are thinking he's gonna be this guy told me, oh, since Martial is injured, this is the right replacement. I was close to saying, are you just stupid? But I had to hold myself back.
Do you know what's going to happen with Mason Greenwood?
What?
He's going to be playing behind closed doors. You're not going to see him on television. He's going to play for the club, but untelevised matches.
Huh?
That's what's going to happen.
Like reserve games?
Yeah,
reserve games, games which are not televised.
Yeah. And
you think so?
Yeah.
And if he's allowed to be back, he'll do what you're saying now, Vim. But then he'll come back. He won't have a preseason because obviously he's been off for months. So he'll work all through summer when everyone's on holiday and stuff. He'll start working his way through, and then get to the actual preseason starting, and to build him up to the start of the season. If
the club allows him back.
Yeah.
I mean, the videos are the videos.
Yeah, the funny thing, Joe, you're right, Joe.
I don't see how this guy
they didn't deny the video is fake. They didn't deny it didn't happen.
Yeah.
What they're saying is we aren't testifying anymore. We are withdrawing our. That's all it is.
Paid him off.
That's all that is.
That's the problem. So it did happen. It did happen. The incident was real.
It was.
Yeah, the incident was real. And
I don't see how this guy plays for United. Like, I don't see how he plays for the first team ever again.
You've got to think about it on the flip side as well, right? He's a young kid. This could destroy his life if you take away his livelihood of his football. But this is the only thing he's got going for him at this moment. You take that away from a 21-year-old. What damage are you going to do to the kid?
Not Vim.
There's a flip side.
One at a time. Let Vim finish. Vim, are you finished?
So the reason judges don't send kids to prison, especially in the UK, is that they don't want to destroy their lives. Yes, he's done.
Well, doesn't that depend on the type of crime, though?
Yeah, it does. But he's not found. The case has been dropped. So
because there wasn't enough evidence, not because it didn't happen. Because there wasn't enough evidence.
She retracted her statement.
Yeah. Have you heard what I said before? I didn't say it didn't happen. I said that evidence has gone. There's not enough evidence to put forward a case. So the thing is, in this country, the judges are quite fair. They don't want to send a kid to prison. If even he had gone to trial, they don't want to send them to prison because they know it's going to destroy their lives. They want them to become reformed and to be good individuals again. This job at Manchester United is everything for him. So if the club then does that, that could be quite detrimental to him as a person. So there's going to be a huge amount of rehabilitation that he needs to go through.
Okay.
Bro, nobody has a legal right to play.
One at a time, Joe.
Nobody has a legal right to play for this club. I don't care how long you feel like you've been involved with this club or how much this is your dream. Do you know how many, there are kids to this day whose dreams of playing for Manchester United have fizzled out. How many people have come through the ranks that never made it into the first squad?
Millions.
What happened to the Januzajs, the fucking Chongs? You know, I mean, nobody has a legal right to play for this club. And if you put yourself in a position where the club has to start asking non-football questions about you, you have to leave.
That's a very
regardless of what
That's the moral side of it.
Happened in the courts.
That's a very good point.
Regardless of what happened in the courts, you have now put your organization in a compromising position.
Yeah, it's
and
a privilege.
It is no longer attainable to keep you there.
But you see, there's two sides to this whole debate, isn't it? What do we do about Mason Greenwood, the person? What do we do about the reputation of the club? You know, can these two then meet together and work something out or not? And that will unfold in the next few weeks or next few months, perhaps. Who knows?
Right. Let me bring in Ben. Let me bring in Bems.
We're not the judge, jury, and executioner here.
Hold on. Let me bring in Bems. Go on quickly.
You guys have already alluded to the question I was going to ask, right? Vim, you're saying, oh, okay, you don't want to destroy his ego or this. I mean, he's young or whatever. I mean, but what about the club? What about the club's reputation? What about the club's image? So you're talking about a young 21-year-old who's a generational talent, right? But what about what the club stands to lose if he wears a shirt for the first team ever again? It's too much for the club to lose. It's just way too much for a young 21-year-old.
You know what this also does?
And play for the. It's too much for the club to. There's too much for the club to lose. Like
so I'm sure they're going to be having these conversations.
All that stuff.
But let me bring in Rodrigo. Rodrigo, come on.
Going back to what's going on right now with Greenwood, but also Dani Alves. Dani Alves, was playing for Pumas in Mexico, right? Dani Alves is the most decorated player in the history of football with 42 free trophies, something like that. They let him go. They rescinded his contract because of again, like what Ben said, the image of the club, right? Pumas made the mistake several years ago of protecting a player that was in a similar situation, and they got a lot of backlash from the employees, from female fans, and they can't do it anymore. So, again, it's because of Dani Alves, he's in prison right now, he's in protective custody, so he won't abscond. But because he contradicted his statement, it looks bad for him. Pumas rescinded his contract because of the, again, you have a clause where you have to conduct yourself, you don't distribute the club, you don't make any crime, you don't commit any crimes. So, that's the thing, the club, like what Ben said, and man of the match, hey, no one has the divine right to play anywhere. A lot of clubs have a clause in their contracts that you have to conduct yourself in a way that's not disrespectful to your organization. If you get accused of a crime or something like that, even if the club says, maybe he wasn't convicted, but here we know he did it. Can we afford to have that kind of thing over us? That kind of black cloud because of the crime, of the delicate of the crime. So
sorry, Rodrigo. Yeah.
No. But that's what I'm saying. That's one thing that Manchester United's legal department, will have to consider, because again, this is stuff that involves future sponsorship.
Right.
So there's a lot of more factors involved now than just his presence on the field. There's now all these external factors that will weigh heavy. And I don't think he should come back anytime before the end of the season to begin with. He needs to. There's a lot of things his kid needs to go through, and not just for his benefit, but for the benefit of the club, and again, these legal ramifications that could affect Manchester United, and even the league, even the FA can get smeared on this, because in the end of the day, they're the governing body of football in England.
Right, Vim, you were going to say something.
Yeah, so in UK law, and you probably have this in the US, but they could just apply the law of gross misconduct to his contract. And gross misconduct would basically mean anything like theft, physical violence, gross negligence, or serious insubordination. And obviously there is an element of physical violence here. And for them, that could be enough just to end his contract on gross misconduct. So if that happens in the next few weeks, let's won't be too surprised. But it's the view they take.
Bim, can I ask you a question?
Excuse me.
Is this gross misconduct by Mason Greenwood?
Yes, it is.
Then that's all
Yeah.
the club.
I would say I'm
it-
going to
it
mention
is.
something right now, right?
Okay, go on,
I'm going
Ben.
to mention something right now, right? Ronaldo did that interview, in this beginning of December, whatever, right?
Right.
After he did that interview, what happened? I think as he did that interview, he violated his contract.
That's
right?
actually insubordination.
Yeah.
What he did.
So in that case, what did the club do?
Terminate his contract.
Yeah.
Terminate his contract.
Okay.
So this is nothing. I mean, this is just a different type of violation.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, if you put them side to side, that's what's that's why I expect to happen.
It's a
Mason
ground for
Greenwood,
dismissal.
contract
Yeah.
will be yeah.
When Roy
Simple.
Keane did this in 05, when he abused the first team, the managers and everything, that was abuse. They terminated his contract and kicked him out. They did not. They thought about it for a week. Like, you got to go. They terminated his contract and moved him on.
The thing is, the club does have the ability to show some leeway because players fight each other, right? You hear about fights breaking out in the dressing room. You hear about someone kicking a football boot on someone's head. That's physical violence. So they can apply their own.
So these are things.
Violence. You understand? Violence against women.
No,
All of that goes
it's not
out.
about
This-
violence. It's not about
One at a
gender.
time, one
It's
at a time.
about physical violence per se. That's it. Physical violence.
But that's
So therefore,
part
the club therefore does apply its own barometer on this. Because players beat each other up, fight in the dressing rooms, kick each other,
I
throw
mean,
boots
there
at each
is
other.
violent conduct.
Physical violence.
Okay.
I've got a quick point.
Let's fight on the pitch.
All right, Ken.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Ken, go ahead.
quick point.
So that's
I'll
all
give
gross
you
misconduct.
I'll give you a scenario, Vim. I'll give you this scenario, right? We bring Greenwood back. Yeah, we bring him back fully. Yeah, and then we start losing sponsorships.
Yeah.
Which means we can't get any revenue. Like we can't get as much money as we can. And
We think we'll lose more sponsorships than what the Glazers have done.
well, that's a different story. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's just say sponsorships. Sponsors start pulling out, and we can't sign the new big deals with sponsors because they're gonna go to other clubs because of this. And then after that, Greenwood has a very, very poor season where he's running around like a donkey and he's not performing. What would you do then? It's just one player like that.
Yeah, I know, but
it's one player.
And he can be replaced. But I mean, if the sponsors say, look, we can't sponsor you because of Mason Greenwood, and that's going to cost you many, many millions per season or whatever it is, then you have to let him go.
And he doesn't
if he's rubbish, then there's no reason to keep
there
him.
you go. That's what I'm saying. He hasn't played for.
But it'd be interesting how it unfolds.
Because it is a very sensitive matter because we all know, I mean, there is, like I said, there's the legal, the football, and the moral side of things. The female fans, the women who work at Manchester United, those who have girlfriends, wives, daughters, do they want to be really associated with this guy? Because they know it happened. It's not like it didn't happen. This is who he is. Okay, all right. People give him second chances. Forgive him, send him to rehabilitation. But the distraction, because the media will constantly be looking and, away fans will keep singing. We know how the fans in the UK are. You go to away ground, these guys will start bringing all sorts out. And
it's just too much, man. It's too much mess.
It's a lot. That's why the players now, in today's papers in UK, they did say, the players say they don't, and the staff do not want Mason back now. Now, does it mean for this season, or they don't want him back done? We don't know.
I just think that's just a nice way of saying they just don't want them back.
I think it's a polite way. Yeah.
Also, remember there will be pressure from women's groups, victims organizations. They will put pressure on the club. They will get in the news.
Yeah.
They and with good reason. I mean, that's they have the right to do that, and that's kind of external pressure that can haunt both the club and the FA. So that's things like we're talking about. You guys said that's things to consider.
So I want to use this to tell fans who watch us and say, listen, those people who think Mason's just gonna come back in the next 3 weeks, it doesn't work like that.
No.
It doesn't. It's a psychological, mental strain on the player himself. Regardless, he still has to mentally, psychologically process the whole thing. Apparently he said he doesn't feel the club has supported him enough. How far that's true, we don't know.
They
Nah,
have to
bro.
distance themselves.
We heard
But
the
I don't
tape.
think we're not going to see him.
Tape.
Yeah,
We
but I don't.
heard the tape.
Everyone
you
heard the
being
tape.
a little, oh man. I mean,
it's not.
I just don't see, man.
The club can only do so much because the club can be accused of protecting him because he's a player and shield.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the again public perception.
I'll put it this way, right?
Manchester United is okay with, beating your girlfriend, beating your wife. This is the thing they cannot afford.
But they're saying the girlfriend said she has forgiven him, so we're good to go. That is what they're trying to say.
The other thing is
validate somebody else's toxic relationship.
The thing
it is not up to the.
Hold on, Joe.
Yeah.
It is not up to the club to validate somebody. It is not up to the club to validate somebody else's toxic relationship.
Right.
Right. Certain relationships. So like, y'all just can't be running wild. Like at the end of the day, this is a business, right?
100%.
And this business does well when it's about inclusion, right? And there's certain things about our society, our modern society, that we no longer accept, right? Whether you as a couple accept that is up to you to decide, and that is how you want to live.
Right.
But as a club, we have decided that this is not something that we accept. It's the same thing with racism,
that's the moral perspective. Right? Yes, I agree.
The club has a moral perspective about racism and the moral perspective about anti-Semitism, right?
Yes.
So like if you violate those, right, you are no longer in the ethos of this club, right?
100%.
It's no different than any kind of player that is not a team player. Like if the team or bringing in a manager, right, that is not about promoting the youth. Manchester United has a certain ethos about the people that work here, right? And once you violate that, you're no longer within that ethos and there's no bringing you back. There's rehabilitation or whatever. You can do whatever you want to do with your wife, your girl, whatever, but that is not what's going on here. And it's too much of a distraction. If they were ready to get rid of Cristiano Ronaldo for that interview, you better believe he's on his way out. There's no way they're keeping him.
Anyone else? Rodrigo.
If you
Rodrigo.
Most clubs have a clause in the contracts when they sign players about their conduct.
Right.
Things that are unacceptable to the club, right? Because again, it's the image of the club that's at stake and perception. So if I'm sure there's, Manchester United has clauses like that because of just what's going on in the world. So just on that alone, just because he violated that clause in the contract, he can be let go, and without any indemnization, because he broke that clause. So that's another thing that people don't understand. That it causes these clubs, the things like you can't go water skiing, you can't go parachuting, you can't go bungee diving because you're an asset to the club. You have to protect it. Right. One, your conduct. You have to comport yourself to the image of the club. You can't do anything to bring disrepute to the club. So happened to Cristiano Ronaldo. He did this interview, which was not cleared by United, and it cost him his job. And again, getting in trouble, don't like that. That can be room for a breach of contract. Gianni Alves again is out of a job because of what's happening, and it's because there's a rule in the club. You can't do this. You're going to bring us in shame.
Right, Bems. Let me bring Bems in. Let me bring Bems in. Bems.
Look, man, this thing is the talk and debate on this topic is a lot, man. This thing is straight and simple, man. It's just no way. It's not possible. I don't see how United stand to lose too much just to bring Mason Greenwood back, even if it's next year. It makes no sense. Even if you look at over the summer, we were Ten Hag was going for what's that Austrian striker's name again?
Arnautovic.
There you go. There was some talk. There's talk about him having, I don't know, he had some racist whatever stuff in the past, right? And there was backlash from the fans, right? There was a lot of backlash from the fans. The club didn't even think twice. They just shut that shit down. They didn't go for him anymore. They just went for someone else, right? It's just like, if you look at everything, you put everything out on the table. I do not see how. I don't see how it's not. I don't see how he's gonna come back. I don't see how. I don't even see how any other Premier League club takes him, even if United let him go. He's done in Europe. He's done.
He's
Like,
Europe or in England?
Well,
in England, I don't see him going even in Europe. I don't
maybe
see
Eastern
any club
Europe.
in Europe will take him.
Yeah,
Eastern Europe, I think he'd be all right. I think he'd be out in Russia.
So somewhere like, oh, James.
Yeah, maybe in one of those
Czech
countries. I don't
Republic,
know, but
yeah, he'd be all right.
yeah, maybe one of those countries. But in like England,
Could he play in MLS?
No.
I don't see how
Would
MLS
No,
taking
He'd
him.
accept it.
You know, here you have the Me Too. You have the Me Too movement.
The Me Too movement. Yeah.
that
His
won't-
options
they-
are very limited. His options are very
Latin
limited.
America,
Yeah.
China.
Yeah,
China.
China,
No,
they're
they get him in
China,
China, yo, bro.
China, maybe in I don't know, Saudi Arabia.
You know,
the
he-
Russian
Definitely Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, because you know the women in Saudi Arabia unfortunately don't
Yeah.
have.
That's
Yeah, they don't
No,
have
you
like
can- you
women's
can-
rights
yeah,
and
you
stuff.
can-
Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia?
it's-
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
and
Right.
Qatar.
Okay, let's move on. Right.
I got one more. I got one
Okay.
more. One more quick nibbit. Right.
Okay, go on, Joe.
Okay, so
Che
no, go ahead,
Evans.
Ken.
Yeah, there's a guy called Che Evans. I don't know if you guys remember.
Che Evans.
Yeah, a footballer. Look
But
at-
done for rape.
Yeah, he was done for rape.
Right.
This is without a video. This is without any video whatsoever. Any ground he served. I think he did two years in jail. He came out of jail, and every football club he went to as a footballer, rapists. It was so bad, you know. And women were like you guys were saying, women were queuing up before the game. You know, like, what is going on? It's just so bad. And the club had to get rid of him. He went to another club, the same thing, and his career just went down. All the clubs he played for all had bad reputation.
The UK crew. Do you remember the Sunderland player who got sent down for 7 years for a young girl he was molesting?
Isn't that's Ched Evans?
He's come out now. He's done. He did 6 years. He did 6 years.
Yeah, but then afterwards he got cleared for it. But
Right.
he still, remember, I think last year they basically came back and said, look, he's innocent. And then he got paid a lot of money, but he still can't play. I mean,
his reputation is done.
Joe,
Can I say one quick thing about like the whole situation with Mason Greenwood and the club? Actually, we have to look at Mason Greenwood. He's an academy player, right? This guy grew up in the ranks of Manchester United.
Right.
So for him to actually say that the club should be supporting him more, what has it been about the upbringing, the way we nurture our young players to make him or make them think that they can commit such an infraction and still feel like they should get support from the club? The club needs to then now look within themselves and how they are making certain things. Like this is like a whole rethink now. We need to start nurturing a lot of these young kids because it clearly might not be happening at home. You know, the club needs to look at these kids as like not just assets, as like you're also included in the upbringing of some of these kids.
Oh yeah,
And things that
100%.
there's certain conversations that need to be happening with some of these kids, and it clearly is not happening.
Right.
And I would hate for something like this to happen to another kid simply because he was just like nobody ever spoke to him about it. You know what I mean? Like these are conversations that parents are supposed to be happening with, fathers are supposed to be happening with their sons, mothers are supposed to be happening with their daughters, and clearly that's not what has happened. So there's a lot of people, including the parents of Mason Greenwood and that girl, that really need to be looking at themselves along with looking at the other people, you know, the club and
You're very correct.
the media.
I can't agree more.
Well
Right.
said. Well said. Well said.
It's a good, yes, good
Well
point.
said.
There's
Good
one
point.
thing I wanted to add as well, which could make things more complicated. So they're saying that if Man United take action to terminate Mason Greenwood's contract, they could find themselves subject to a further claim by Mason Greenwood himself, who could potentially have the right to bring forward a unfair dismissal claim or wrongful termination claim, which means going to a tribunal. There's potential for that if he can go to a tribunal for wrongful termination.
It
Yeah,
depends on
he
what's in
can't.
his. It depends on what's in his
can't.
contract. Again, if
can't.
it's in his contract that any kind of infraction,
Yeah.
they can legally do away with him and not have to pay him a
So
cent.
it depends. Maybe
It's
I
in the
think. I
contract.
think.
So
it-
either
it
way, legal
obviously-
battles ahead.
So obviously, it seems the contracts in the academies are probably not as strict as the ones with the first team players.
No,
So
but it
it
will
be-
cover things
it
like
could
this.
be.
Because
when he
he's
goes to
signed
first team, when he goes to first team, he has to sign a first team contract because of the labor
He
laws.
has. He
And,
has.
and I know United
No, he
has those
he
kind of.
signed a first team contract. He
Yes.
has
Okay, okay.
He has, yeah,
So it would have a stricter
So
Yes.
so
Yeah.
what
So
they
that's
could,
not-
what,
that's
what he
not-
could sue
one at a
for,
time. One at a time.
what he could
This
sue
is-
for is to be paid until the end of his contract, which is 2025.
But this is
And again, but again, if you're in breach of contract,
yes,
if you're in
exactly.
breach of contract, that is out the window. They don't have to pay you a dime.
Exactly. Remember, they could have paid Ronaldo to the end of the year, to the end of the season,
But he was
but
in
they
breach of
cut the
contract.
contract, and so they don't need to honor
Out
it.
of there.
Nope.
He's out of there.
That's
like
what I'm
I
saying.
told you, Roy Keane, his contract was he still had 2 more years. They said, thank you, you got to go. We can't tolerate this. They
Nope.
cut him.
It's in the contract. If anything you do that breaks the conduct clause or brings the club into dispute, it's a breach of contract.
Yeah.
They don't owe you a dime. You
Right.
can go to
And
court all you want.
this is to the value of tens of millions of pounds. So
Yes.
for Mason
yes.
Greenwood, that's a lot of money for someone who's going to be
Yeah,
at work.
he-
So his lawyers would
but-
definitely put forward a case that
But
you have
yeah.
to pay my client his earnings
Oh.
until end
But,
of
you know, I-
2025.
But he should know better.
The lawyers will put forward a case.
They would.
have good lawyers.
I could see them putting a case.
But
Yeah,
once
if
If
they don't put a
United,
case together,
one
they
at
It
a
all
time.
depends. It all depends what's in the contract. Lawyers can say, "This is an ironclad contract. You broke. We can't do much for you here."
If it's
They'll-
deemed
they'll-
as
yeah.
gross misconduct, then he has no basis
And
whatsoever.
Right.
United's
Yeah.
got some of the best lawyers in the business. Their job is to make sure the club doesn't get burned, smeared, or its image is damaged. Right. So that's why they put it in there. And
Right.
I doubt Mason Greenwood would have a leg to stand out unless United didn't dot their I's and cross their T's.
What is
Which I
that
doubt.
noise?
Okay.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy if they really didn't have anything like that in the contract? And it'd be
Shame on
just
them. Shame on them.
It'd be
one of
shame
the
on them.
last-
Shame on them.
One of the last flaming turds left by Ed Woodward.
I would have.
Shame on them. Then shame on United for not and their lawyers for not. You know.
I would have
There is
said.
a,
Alright,
there is a
let's-
nice way.
let's-
There is a nice way to end this, though.
In
Let's-
Ronaldo's contract, they'll have it in Mason Greenwood's contract.
There is a nice way to end this, where both parties can walk away from this, and that's something called gardening leave. So you pay the
Gardening
sum. You
No,
agree to
no,
pay a
no.
sum
No.
until
That's
a
a settlement.
specified time. It's a
Gardening
settlement.
leave
Yeah.
is not this incident is severe. You get put on gardening leave when something
There's no
is being
legal
invest-
repercussions with that.
No, but you get put on gardening leave when things are still being investigated, and
Which is
You
what
know,
they're
they-
doing
Yeah.
on it. They're
Yeah, that's
through
like
internal
suspended
processes.
suspended with pay.
Man, the
Yeah,
dude,
so they're
the
going
dude
they're
that
going
paid
through
your
internal
evidence.
processes
He's
at the moment.
done.
Vim,
He's done out
paid
here.
for a
there
whole
is
year
video
for free, man.
evidence of him
He
of what he
paid the whole
did.
year's salary.
No, what I'm
Right.
saying is
Like,
that there's
this
different
is-
ways a
this is
situation can
hearsay.
play out.
Nah, it's only
And one
going
way they
down
can
one
I
do
don't.
it
I don't see.
One
without
at a
having
time,
a
one at a
big
time.
legal one way they can do it without having a big legal challenge at the end of it is to say, look, Mason, we love you as a player, we nurtured you, but you've made a mistake. We don't think you can stay at the club. We're going to offer you 8 million
Why would they?
gonna happen
Why
to
would
you.
they?
or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
my
saying-
thing is,
why would
they?
they?
Why
One
would
at
they?
a time.
They have a
So
good
there's
legal
no
ground for it.
legal repercussion.
No, if it's in the contract, it was saying this is and United's lawyers.
So have
I'm
you seen
sure.
the contract?
It's in just about
Have you
most
seen the
clubs in the world. In fact,
Yeah, but
no,
they've got to play it smartly so that there's no
not
legal
Vin.
challenges at the end of it.
Yeah, Vim.
But
What
this
we're
is
saying here
this is
that-
this
Alright,
is
okay.
this is
Let me
common
bring in.
knowledge.
Let me bring in Bems. Let me bring in Bems. Hold on, Bems. Go on.
What we're saying here, Vim, I understand a lot of what you're saying, right? That is if the club would only do that if Mason Greenwood has some type of grounds or something. But in the case where he doesn't have any, it's in the contract. If you violate that contract due to this, which he has done, if it's in that contract, there is nothing Mason Greenwood can do. There is nothing the club will need to offer him jack shit. It's over.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's in the contract.
Let's move on that note. Let's get back to football. Right. We also United beat Crystal Palace 2-1 yesterday with 10 men, with Andre Mariner, one of the worst referees I've seen in a very long time. I thought he was unsure what he was doing. I thought his decisions were literally every 50-50 tackle. He gave referee the free kick towards Crystal Palace. Vim, when you saw that game yesterday, I mean, Crystal Palace seemed to be a slight problem at the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
you see, I knew a lot of people said, "Oh, Old Trafford going to 4-0." I said, Crystal Palace are not going to just lie down. They are a very good team. They're just hard to break down, and they don't have they're hard to beat. We barely just made it. Go on.
The Crystal Palace of old, we would have
Torn them apart.
mostly torn them apart. Yeah. Not under Ole, but generally Man United would deal with Crystal Palace. But Vieira has brought something else to that team. And now his old club is fighting for that Premier League, and we're a potential threat for that.
Yes.
He's doing everything he can in his power to make sure that we do not succeed.
Any other team that he plays, he make sure they...
He's got almost a double vested interest.
Oh,
Crystal Palace and Arsenal. I mean, you could the smirk on his face at the end of that first game where they drew with us. He knows he's done his old club a big favor.
Yeah.
That watching that last 20-25 minutes when Casemiro was sent off was painful to watch. We were against the ropes. And
they brought in Harry. Harry did some jobs there.
Harry, yeah, but Martinez, my God, the interceptions he made.
Yeah.
What a player! That guy was, for those last 20 minutes, you see what he's worth. And I hope Casemiro starts to think about his disciplinary action, because he really put us in it. He really put the whole team in it. For 3 games. He lost himself at Arsenal. Got sent off for this game. He needs to start thinking about his behavior.
That's true, and they're always against Palace.
Yeah, but it's just you can't do that. I know he's Latin American and they're hot-blooded, but you just cannot do that. Don't put your arms on someone. You've got cameras everywhere.
He's passionate, man.
He's passionate, but you've got to think. About being the club. Yeah, but you've got to reflect. There's certain boundaries you cannot.
Because of the repercussion, we have to pay the price. 2 games against Leeds, 1 game against Leicester City. He's not playing, and these are very crucial games.
But let's be real. Let's be real. Technically, let's be real, man. I mean, we should be able to beat those teams without Casemiro, and to give Casemiro a couple weeks of rest. I mean, no. Let's just be real here, right?
Are we talking beat them on paper or beat them on the field?
Let me say this, right? If Casemiro didn't get the red card, right, he will be playing week in, week out, right? The more a player plays, the chance of injuries is there, right?
Right.
So now we've given him a break of a couple of weeks. Let him just chill, relax, just train with just train with the first team. Come game day, is then you rest. In my opinion, I know, yes, we've lost him for crucial games, but if we're gonna lose Casemiro for 3 games in the season, I would rather lose him now. This is the 3 games I would rather lose him. If we can't go beat Leeds twice and Leicester City without Casemiro, then that further tells you the issues with the squad depth, and we need to improve. And all these fans talking about title challenger, if you can't win these next 3 games without Casemiro, then we have nothing to talk about.
But Bems, do you think we should give him a break on the club's terms or on his own terms for disciplinary reasons? Well, you not think we should give him a break that he earns through good behavior?
I agree with you. We should be giving him a break based not on his terms, but on the club's terms. Yeah, I do agree with you. But
not a forced break.
Yeah,
a planned break than a forced break.
I think is a blessing in disguise. In my opinion, he's the most important player in that team.
I hope it is.
Right, let me bring in Kenneth.
Sabitzer has got to really step up now.
Right, yeah. Kenneth,
Yes, I have to agree with Bems there. I posted in the group, in the United group, that it was a good rest for Casemiro because ETH is so obsessed with winning, and rightly so, that he would play Casemiro in every game, because we've got Barcelona coming, right? The 2 games. Don't forget those games are crucial because we've got to get to the Europa League final and try to win that as well. So we need Casemiro fresh for those 2 games. Leeds at home is going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, but we're at home. They're fighting for relegation, so it's easy. The away game though is tricky, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Sabitzer. I think this would be a good game. The cameo appearance he had, when he came on, he looked very physical, very like aggressive, which is something we'd like to see, and that's great. With regard to the red card to Casemiro, I actually don't blame Casemiro. I blame Anthony. I blame Anthony big time. Dude, you get fouled, yeah? It wasn't even a bad tackle. Like, fair enough.
I don't know, man.
He nudged him off the ball, and then he rolled and stayed on the. And then
but no. Old Trafford. The pitch dips. The pitch dips down.
Yeah, the pitch dips down.
It dipped, but dude, stand up, and he came, and he does that every single time where he comes in and he starts a battle. Had he gotten up and just said, "Look, ref, what's going on?" Just talk to the guy. Why did you do that? Maybe go to his face, put your hand. When players go to run up to another football and they put their hands behind their back, this message you're sending is, okay, I just want to have a chat with you. I just want to talk, right? But when you go down, you're like that. You're all giving it. It creates an atmosphere, and then that's when everyone came in and became. I'm not obviously Casemiro needs to know how to control himself. But the key, starting point was Anthony's stupid and childish.
So you think Anthony overreacted, which triggered this domino effect?
Watch it again. If Anthony didn't react that way, Casemiro wouldn't have sent off. But anyway, like I said, it's a good break for Casemiro. Train on a match day, chill with your family, play with the kids, rest, and then we have you back.
And watch a few Netflix.
Watch a few Netflix. If there's anyone that needs a break right now,
it's Casemiro.
Going into the business end of the season, where we've got FA Cup, we've got League Cup final, we've got Europa League, it's Casemiro. For me, he's our most important player.
Right. Let me bring in Joe. Fans, let me bring in Joe. Joe. Casemiro, blessing in disguise or bad news? Is it blessing in disguise or a disaster?
Mute.
Unmute. Yeah, go on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, bro, I got to pull back on the Casemiro thing with Anthony. What are you talking about, man? He punked him. He tried to punk him. You know what's happening, man. He mushed the dude so that he fell down. Anthony got to react. He's got to react.
Not in that way.
They've been trying to punk that dude ever since he got there, right? Because a lot of these players are not trying to get embarrassed. I'm telling you, when Anthony start cooking, he's going to be a problem in this league. But that said, Casemiro is still responsible for his own self. I know when you look at the infraction from a different angle, it didn't look like he was but like I said, you come from a league where you don't even do that in your league. So where is he? Like, Casemiro still has to be responsible for himself.
Right.
Not to mention, he's one of the leaders of the team. He is one of the leaders. He is one of the characters that we've been so thirsty for. Somebody that has the wherewithal to set the example.
Right.
And in that particular instant, he failed.
Right.
And hopefully he learns from that.
Right.
And I get it. Yes.
That makes sense, Joe.
Everybody's saying that this was
just
real quick. Everybody's saying that it's good that he got the red card now. Like, to say that is to say that the infraction would not have been good if we had City to play next week. So what is it? Is the infraction good or is it bad? Like, it's a bad thing he should have done, no matter who we're playing the next 3 games. We're just so fortunate and lucky enough that it's not a problem.
So what we're saying is it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. We're not saying if we're playing City and we'll be thinking, what is he doing? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we've looked at
But it's not a blessing.
Yeah,
It wasn't a blessing in the first Crystal Palace game, was it?
No, but
For him to be sent off.
that wasn't a blessing. But what we're saying is,
So why is any
having
sanction a blessing?
Having looked at the fixtures, we're like, ooh, that was close. Good thing is we're playing Leeds, and Leicester. That's why we're like saying it's a blessing. Basically, something it happened in the right moment, even though it's the right thing, it's the wrong thing. Sorry, but it is favorable to us. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hold on, Rodrigo. Let me quickly bring Bems. You're about to rebuttal what Joe said.
No. I'm just saying. So like the thing at the end of the day, you got to look at the big picture here, right? As fans, you got to look at the big picture. The big picture is we have so many games to play, and Casemiro plays a position that is so crucial for the team, right? He moves around that pitch, left, right, up, down, whatever. Right. I know he's physically fit, but if you play 3 games every day, every week, right? 3 games a week. Eventually, it's gonna catch up. He's gonna get eat. Yeah. He's prone to injuries.
Right.
So the big picture, but then let me ask this question to the rest of everyone here, right? Is this something? What didn't Roy Keane get sent off for red cards?
Roy Keane was averaging 3 red cards a season, guaranteed.
Okay. And we're talking about Casemiro, and Joe said Casemiro is supposed to be the leader of this team. This looks. I mean, are you trying to say this is in Roy Keane would have done something similar? Because I know Roy.
Yes, he would have.
Roy Keane is a hothead.
Casemiro
is a wise
Roy
head.
Keane stamped on a player's chest on the floor with the Crystal Palace. Funny enough, it was a Crystal Palace player.
But guess what? Exactly.
Was it Vieira?
But guess what?
No, this was before the Vieira era.
History Crystal Palace.
The rest of it's so.
So he got 5-match ban for that was violent conduct. Violent conduct. He got 5 match.
Cantona flat.
But guess what?
Someone didn't he? And got a 7-month ban as well, Crystal Palace.
That was violent conduct.
But guess what? The team still respected Keane. The team still followed Keane.
Yes.
Right? So I don't think this messes up his leadership quality.
No, it won't. It won't.
But do you think, Bems, do you think Casemiro needs to think about these sanctions he's getting, these cards he's picking up at pivotal times? Or not? Do you think he needs to think about that himself?
I do agree. No, I do agree, right? I do agree that he needs to think about it, right? But if you ask Eric Ten Hag is going to tell you, man, this red card is going to cost us some games, but man, at the end of the day, you're fighting for the team. I like the spirit. Yes, I'm telling you, Ten Hag is going to go dab him up and say, you know what?
Right.
Let me bring in Rodrigo. Hold on, let me bring in.
Eric Ten Hag is happy.
Players should be avoiding cards as much as possible.
As much as they can. If it's beyond them, I understand it. Maybe a late tackle, the guy went past you quicker than you anticipated. I get it. But Roy Keane's ones were sometimes deliberate. He will hold the grudge from the season before and like, I'm gonna get you today. Roy Keane was a hothead, but he was still one of the greatest United captains. Let me bring in Rodrigo.
First of all, no sending off is a blessing. None. There is no such thing as a blessing being sent off. I'm sorry, because it's a player you need on the field every game. Now you say, it's a good time. It's a good time. No, it's
let him finish. Let him finish.
But if he finishes for the rest of the season,
you do it being a fan. It's pragmatic. It's being pragmatic.
Yes, I do understand. I've played the game. There is no good blessing and send off. Now, who's to say? You say, it's a good time because now you get out of his system. No, he may get 2 yellow cards back to back and sit out of the game. He may get another red card at the end of the game. It's in another game. You can't say he's not getting another red card.
Yes, it's the mentality.
A guy like Casemiro is needed every game because he's a leader. He obviously also he's pivotal because he inspires. He gets his other midfielders to play also. So a guy like that is needed. He's not, it's not like, we could do it on for 3 games. You don't know that. There's no such thing as a blessing.
That's what I'm thinking. It's not guaranteed.
No, it's not guaranteed. He's not going to get another red card or another 2 or back-to-back yellow cards to sit out the game.
I know it's not guaranteed, but what if he's injured? What if he gets injured for the rest of the season?
He's going to get injured. He's going to get injured.
Because he's
what does he have a red card? There's no such thing as a blessing in a red card. I'm sorry.
All players get injured. The thing is, we don't have Eriksen now for the rest of the season.
Right.
We've got Sabato who's just come in. We've
Vin,
lost
Joe,
two
Vin,
experienced
Joe, and
Plus,
midfielders.
no,
One at a
no,
time. One at a time.
No
Okay.
club
That's-
wants to play for no club wants to pay a player for sitting on the bench because he lost his head.
Okay, Vin, Joe, and Rodriguez. Think about this. Yeah, we're all talking now. Like 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, even last season. What was the fundamental thing that we lacked in the team?
A
Leadership.
CDM.
Leadership.
Leadership, yes.
CDM.
Aggressiveness, exactly,
Passion.
aggression, passion, physicality.
Right.
We've got that mentality now, right? We've got that mentality. We've got all this now, yeah. And like Bems rightly said, Ten Hag would not go to Casemiro and say, "Don't do that." He'll just be like, "Be careful."
No, he
next
won't.
time
He won't.
you
He
can't
won't say
put
that.
your-"
No, he won't.
Look,
Especially when he
Oli was
knows
there,
he's not a
teams were
dirty
we
player.
were so nice. We were so nice to teams. Teams were, playing 1-2s around us. We'll be looking around. Fred will be looking. Remember that goal against Everton when Fred should have chopped the. I don't know if you remember. There was a game in Everton when we scored first. Fred, a pass came from Fred, let the guy run instead of chopping him, and they went.
That's right. I remember
yeah,
that clearly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
We lacked that. We were nice, sweet boys on the pitch. Now we've got some people that can tackle Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, that will go there. And yes, he needs to be careful, but sometimes you just got to take one for the team and just.
Yeah,
show that
I
they're not
agree.
pushovers of it. Remember,
Especially when these players.
title-winning teams, teams that win the title are very, very aggressive. Midfielders are they're ready to go to battle off the pitch, on the pitch, anything they'll bring it. So we need.
100%.
That's what we need. If we're gonna go somewhere, we
Okay.
need that mentality. Yeah.
Hey, Ken. I mean, I feel what you're saying, right? But you got to look at Casemiro for who he is. He's supposed to be that individual. This is, I guess maybe if this was something that happened maybe once every like 8 months, I can get you. But this has happened like in like within a week, where his so-called passion has cost us points. Like it almost cost us points today. It definitely cost us points with Arsenal, right?
Right.
And think of any championship running team, right?
Right.
How many people, how many teams have won league titles when their spine keep getting red cards or keep getting suspended? That spine has
We're
to
not
be
going for the
available.
title, though.
Like,
We're not going for the title.
okay.
Red cards.
Wait,
Vieira
I'm
We're not going
was
for the
getting
title, though.
so many
Hold
red
on. Hold on.
cards.
Let him finish. Let him finish, please.
I'm saying we may not
Yeah.
be in the mode for a title,
Mm.
but we still need to have that mentality, right?
Right. So
We
you are
can't be
saying
thinking,
Of course.
oh, we don't have a chance of winning the title, so we can just go ahead and run wild on the pitch. No, we can't do that. We can't
So-
do
but-
that.
but at the end of the day-
so Joe, what you're saying, right, is we don't want to keep embracing this and become so it doesn't turn to become a complete liability,
Yes.
whereby
Happy,
he's
yeah.
losing so many games
Yeah.
and
He
can't
suspensions
have-
because he's a leader. Yes, he
Yes.
has to be cautious. He's not a dirty player.
He's not.
He's not a dirty player. He's passionate, he's physical, and he
He's
wants
a
to
winner.
win.
He's a
To
winner.
You know
Madrid
who's
way,
passionate?
which
You know who's passionate?
which I
You know
get
who's
it.
physical?
Right.
Eric Bailly was all those things. Where's he at right now?
No, Bailly is no, Bailly. I wouldn't. No, not Bailly. No, Bailly was just clumsy.
Rojo was the same way. Rojo was passionate. What about Rojo? Rojo was passionate.
Okay,
Rojo
let me
was
ask you a
determined,
question, Joe.
But he's a 2 foot bandit that's liable to a red card
Yeah, but
at any single moment. It doesn't matter if it's a friendly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
but those guys weren't that
This
important to
guy-
the team, though.
It could be a charity event with a bunch of pensioners. He does not
Them
care.
Charity event.
No,
Come on, man.
but
No.
but the passion was in the time where the passion
At the
that
wrong
makes sense.
time,
'Cause
yes,
the passion,
at the
it
wrong
didn't
time.
match the
Rojo
team.
was a butcher. Rojo was just
Yo,
Rojo would do it to you
Yo.
in training, man. In training, he would slice you in training. Rojo didn't care.
that
That's not
needs to be worked on. That guy was something else.
I'm
Right.
saying you can
Oh,
have
man.
passion. That's passion, yes. But you've been in the league and you've been a veteran long enough.
Right.
That's not be. We don't need hotheads in the team.
I hear you.
You know,
you also
because
have to understand,
when
right? This is first.
even when Casemiro's like has a yellow card, it drastically changes the way he can play his game.
This I agree with you 100%, especially
You know?
the first Palace game when he knew he was
Yes.
on the yellow card. Just let the guy go and
Yeah.
see what happens. That I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
It's just that it's at the end of the day, right? Casemiro, this is his first season in the Premier League, man.
Yeah, he will
You
learn.
got to
He will
get the
learn.
guy. He's gonna learn. You got to cut.
will,
Like
yeah.
you can't roast him, man. Like you can't just roast the guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Because he's got 2 red cards, man. Come on. It's,
You know,
at the
it's
end
funny
of the
whereby
day-
2 red cards against the same team. That is what.
No, next time you might try and do a flying kick on one of the fans.
You see what I mean?
You know what?
So we always had this issue with Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
Roy
getting
Keane stamped.
vibes.
Roy Keane got a 5-match ban in '97 for stamping on the Crystal Palace player's chest. Cantona got banned for 9 months for fighting a Crystal Palace fan. So it's always Crystal Palace that we always have issues with.
What this tells me, I'm getting Roy Keane vibes, and I'm getting, maybe this is a sign. I mean, maybe it's a sign that we have a brighter future ahead of us because we got Casemiro.
Yeah, because when you have people who are passionate and don't want to lose, they don't like fake the wrong referee decisions. They give the all. Okay, the guy's late. I'm gonna take you down. I'd rather take you down, take a card down, and let you go score. So when you have that mindset, a winning mindset, and we've got to understand, 10 years ago, certain tackles were allowed. Now they're really tighter. There's no VAR like that as it is now. You know, you could punch a player and the ref won't probably see it. Then now they'll pull it up. You know, sometimes
10 years ago, Casemiro wouldn't have gotten a red card for this.
No, really, no.
He wouldn't have gotten a red card.
He wouldn't have. He probably would have gone a yellow. Because you know, football is a physical sport. It's not a stand-off sport. You have to, and that was an off-the-ball moment. Like Joe is saying, he thinks Anthony overdone it. I get it. It's 2 sides. Anthony could have just gone up and said, you know, and just that head-to-head thing, but it just became a domino effect.
I don't think in to support. I do agree with Joe that I think Anthony.
You think he overreacted?
No, I don't. I mean, for that. I mean, for the way Anthony was attacked, I think Anthony had to like stand up for himself.
You got his bomb.
He had to stand up for himself. So, like, if I was in Anthony's shoes, if you were in Anthony's shoes, you get pushed over like that. Come on, man. I mean, we all got cojones here, man. You ain't just gonna stand and let someone slap you.
Fair
You're gonna fight back.
But I'm just looking at the root cause. I was just looking at the root cause.
Right. Let me bring in Vim. Vim. Was there an Anthony overreaction, or he was standing up for himself?
I mean, the guy did go flying, you know.
He's not a big guy. You got to take an assumption.
And the guy did push out at him, and yeah, he did go flying. I mean, I think any player would react.
Did he get a yellow?
He didn't get anything.
And he scored the goal.
Did he get a sanction at all? I don't know.
He did. I didn't think a yellow. He scored the goal.
And the other thing as well, when they look at this, when they look at this again, video evidence, when Casemiro actually put his hands around his collar, and they're saying that actually potentially it might not be violent conduct. So if they do try to appeal it, they can say, well, he didn't put his hands on his neck per se; it was on his collar. But you know, that's whether the club wants to take that risk.
So my beef I have here, did Ayew not do the same thing to Fred? What was the difference?
That's why Jordan Ayew is really the culprit for the red card. He's the one that should have got the red card. That's the person right there.
Because Ayew's one looked very violent, like he really wanted to
you could tell.
My friend is like, what is wrong with these Brazilians? Fred,
the thing is,
Casemiro.
The problem with VAR with VAR and refereeing is it's not consistent. No, it's always been like that. Certain people get away with stuff, and other people get harshly treated. And we've always had that struggle in the Premier League. And bringing in VAR, you would thought it would make it more consistent. It actually partially has become worse in a way.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they will appeal it, maybe not. But you know, Casemiro is a leader on the pitch, and he's got to be careful with his disciplinary
Gotta be
actions.
better.
Especially in
Yeah.
a new
gotta be better.
league where things are not like the La
Yeah.
Liga, where he's been for so many years
Yeah.
that he
He's-
has to kind of be,
Yeah.
like you said, careful a bit. Not be less passionate, but kind of
You just
how-
stay away from those situations. He didn't need to get involved. You just stay away.
Yeah,
Rashford, you see as well. Unless he's being hurt himself, Rashford tries to calm situations down. He tries to break it up, and I think that's the behavior that you need to have. You need to be a calming effect,
Yeah.
not the opposite. You break up the fight. You walk away from the trouble. Let's get on with the game. I've seen him do that a lot of times, and that's one thing I like about Rashford is that he's got a good, calm head on his shoulders.
there was a
But I
clip.
will say one thing though. There was a clip.
Go on, Ben.
There was a moment. When Martial got his red card
Against Spurs.
Spurs.
Yes.
Man, Rashford was livid, man. He was livid. He was pissed off that Harry Maguire was just standing there, just
Yeah, he didn't.
not doing
Maguire
anything.
didn't want to get involved as a captain.
didn't wanna
Even
get involved.
Bruno
Yeah.
tried to do something yesterday, but here's what
Yeah,
it is.
it's
Maguire's in the wrong club, man.
He's
been
on
so long.
apparently from a source. They're saying United want to sell Maguire, Van der Beek, Bailly, Telles, and who's the last one?
McTominay.
McTominay. They're the 5 players they want to sell in the summer. What do you guys think? Is there anyone on that list you
Sell them.
think shouldn't be there?
I'm okay with that.
I would sell
Let
them
me
all.
start with
Sell
Vim.
them all.
Vim.
Sell them all, man. Sell them all.
All 5 of them? No, you don't want to keep anyone?
Starting with Maguire.
Dang.
Put him out to
I
auction.
think everyone's on the same page with this.
Okay,
I think
Joe?
everyone will agree with
No, is there any of those 5 players you think?
Nope. Sell them all.
Dang.
All of them.
Kenneth?
Tell them more, but I think maybe if this is a big if, Van der Beek, maybe because of the Ten Hag ETH.
It's not going to happen.
Maybe
He would have used him by now. He's not using
Would
him.
have used them
He
by now.
was kind of
But-
using
but-
it.
but- he's injured right now, so
he
he
did
won't be
say, Eric Ten
kind
Hag
of
did
used it.
say that for him to give Van der Beek a run against, he has to be fit and be in contention for selection. But of late, he hasn't been, so he's
Yeah.
not been able to. So I still think the jury and Eric Ten Hag are still like, let me still see.
Let's see
But
what.
the other 4, I don't know if he's I don't think he wants Telles or Bailly. I don't think he wants them.
I think he might want Bailly,
I don't
But
know.
if Maguire goes, he might want Bailly as cover.
Because he likes Lindelof.
Yeah, he likes Lindelof. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll keep. I think he'll keep Lindelof.
So of
thing
those
is
5
with,
guys, there's no one you guys think apart. Kenneth said Van der Beek. Yes, Bems. What do you think? All 5 to go?
And come to think about it, right? The
Even
Van der
Scott
Beek thing
McTominay?
is- The Van der Beek, no, Scott McTominay.
Scott is a representation of an
Newcastle.
academy. That's what I'm just throwing
He'll
down.
do well.
I don't
Newcastle,
care.
Scott.
I don't care. That's not my business. He's from academy or he helped build the club. I don't care. He can go. But when it comes to Van der Beek, in my honest opinion, right, I know from the look of it, right, I would say Van der Beek has not really been given. He's not really been healthy to have a clear run of games. When I mean a clear run of games like 10 games, like straight, right?
Right.
And in my opinion, right, I would say I don't think Eric Ten Hag is gonna give up on him just yet, because one, he's injured now, and I doubt if he's even gonna be ready to even be sold. He's
In the summer, he won't be ready.
What I think is gonna happen to Van der Beek is Eric Ten Hag is probably gonna want Van der Beek gonna say, look, you gotta fight for your position. If you fight for your position and fight and show me that you're ready to play, I'll give you the games. But I'm not just gonna give you the games because I know you. You have to show me that you're ready and that and also that you're better than some of the guys that's playing. To at least get on the field. And then if he gives him his chance, 10 games, and he can't do it, then he's gone.
Can I just say something about that?
Fair to let him go just like that.
Let me say something about it. My thinking on this, right, is that yes, ETH knows him from Ajax, but Ajax made do with inexpensive players. They didn't have the financial weight of what Manchester United has. So he made an amazing team out of inexpensive, low-cost players.
Right.
Van der Beek was one of those. He is now a club, an elite club, which is which is basically the toughest league in the world, and we've got the best managers here. He is now at an elite level, and he needs elite players. I do not think Van de Beek's an elite player, and I don't think he's going to be with us much longer.
Wow. Thank you.
Despite his ties with Ajax, Ajax is a different league.
Right.
And now ETH knows that he's got the backing, and they've got many millions of them. They backed him with 200 million for his first transfer window. He's going to have to go and get the best.
I don't think Ten Hag is going to get that same amount of money during the summer, though.
When we have new owners,
I don't see that happening.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
If we
I
sell
don't
the
see that
club,
Now we are with the big
will.
boys.
Yeah.
So
I don't even think what I think. The fact that he's willing to sell so many players, I think there's.
you have to sell.
To buy.
We have to sell.
You have to sell.
Even for financial fair play, we have
that's
to.
the whole purpose of a balance sheet.
Yeah. You have to sell.
Just
but I
stockpile.
don't think. I don't think, in my opinion, you talk about like the number of players that we have to buy. We have to get a striker. We still.
Right, but we have to offload to get
we
in.
have to.
But we now have to be more careful about our selection policy, and we have to go for elite players.
I totally agree. Right? If you want to get, okay, talk about, because if you're gonna sell Van der Beek, you want to get an elite midfielder, right? An elite midfielder, right? It's gonna cost you. I mean, it's gonna cost you a good at least 60 million. 50-60 million in the transfer window, right?
Right.
And you need to get a striker, and you're talking about to get a good top number 9, at least 80-90 million minimum, right? That's 150 gone already, right?
Right.
How much are you gonna get for Harry Maguire? How much
40,
are you gonna get
45
for McTominay? How much
30, that's 75. We can raise from those 5 players. Even if we sell each of them 30 million, that's already 150. We can make some money from there. And I mean, we're not selling Phil Jones because his contract. No, Phil Jones is going to be, his contract ends, so that is just going to be. We're just going to tell him goodbye and give him a cake and tell him goodbye. Thanks for the memories. That was going to happen.
Yeah, but let's just be realistic about this.
Hold on, Ken. Go on, Ken.
Tim, do you think we can get 30 million for McTominay?
Yes, easily.
I don't think so, bro.
He's Scottish, right?
I don't think
and
so.
he's local. He's local, easily.
The Scottish lad is not.
Maybe Aberdeen will buy him.
No, a Premiership team would get him. I can see I can see him play for Everton, a newly promoted team.
I think Max, you're looking at. I think Max is looking at 20 million at best. I think
he'll get more than that.
I think
he'll get more.
20 million.
Absolutely.
15 to 20.
Because he's coming from Manchester United, his price tag will go up a bit.
No one's gonna want to pay
He's
that
not even 20. He's not 26 yet.
We've seen him play week in, week out, bro. He's not worth 30 million, man. Come on. Okay, then what about? So you're telling McTominay and Harry Maguire, right? Who's worth more?
Maguire.
Okay, and then so how much do you think Man United will get for Harry Maguire?
40, minimum 50.
No way. We're not getting 50 million.
Okay.
No
You know why? I'll tell you why. Hold on. He's England's number 1. Number 1. He represents.
That doesn't mean shit to any. Oh my God!
No. For him, you think about
He
it.
will not get 50 million.
Hold on.
Maguire.
No, hold on, guys. Check this out.
I'm gonna bet with you on this.
Hold on.
He's not even playing a amount of games right now.
Check at this.
He's not
How
playing.
many games did he play for the World Cup? Thank you. Regardless of how many.
But how many games is he playing now?
He's still going to be playing. He's still number 1 of the England. He's still going to be number 1 of the.
I don't care. Play for England.
Wait. Tim turn into.
No. Hold on, guys. Vim will understand where I'm coming from when it comes to selecting English players and selling English players. It's a different play. I'm telling you. Harry Maguire.
Guys, it doesn't really matter. These hypotheticals don't matter. You know, whatever value someone's willing to place on him, that's what they're going to pay. Whatever we've come up with, it's irrelevant. It doesn't
you
matter.
guys expecting they're going to offer Maguire for 15 million? No way. It's going to be at least 40 to 50.
Newcastle would probably pay 50 for him.
No, not 15 million. He's going to go.
But does it matter?
I think 40 million max.
40 million max.
Listen, doesn't really matter, right? He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit our club. We just need to get rid of him. That's it.
And if
a Premiership team will pick him up. He's an England deputy captain. He's number 1 on England score sheet. He's English player. He's a traditional centre back.
Let me tell you why it won't be 50 million.
Why?
Have you seen United's selling pattern over the last 3
No,
years.
they don't sell
Thank
well.
you.
They're really bad.
Exactly.
Thank
Players that are
you.
worth, we're literally begging clubs, please take him for 5, okay, 4 million, please. That's we're begging players to take.
But this is different though. This one is different.
Nah,
I'm telling you, you'll be okay.
Anyway, guys,
Nah, Tim, this
But
I think
all
we
right,
labored this
let's-
point enough, man.
right. So anyway, the next 3 games: Leeds, two games against Leeds, Sunday, Thursday, Leicester. Vim, 9 points. Are United getting 9 points for those 3 Premiership games?
Was it Leeds? Leicester what was the last one?
2 games for Leeds and 1 game Leicester. We're playing Leeds home and away, back to back.
Leeds twice in the Premier
Yeah,
League. Okay,
yeah.
well, those
Wednesday
are
and
doable.
Sunday.
Mind you, they have had a slight upsurgence, haven't they, recently with
They lost
Jesse
today.
March? Did they?
Lost today. They lost today to.
They're a-
they lost to
Nottingham
the-
Forest.
They're a beatable
Nottingham
team,
Forest,
but
yeah.
they're an old rival, so they'll certainly give us a tough game. But
Right.
we have the capability in our squad to beat them, even without Casemiro. So yes, we should beat them. But
Leicester City?
I expected a 3-pointer against Crystal Palace, and we didn't get it.
That's what I'm
Leicester-
saying.
Leicester are really struggling, aren't they? They're in the relegation zone.
They won. They beat Aston Villa away yesterday.
Yeah, so they're having a resurgence. All these teams are having the resurgence at the wrong
Yeah.
time.
Exactly my point. So 9 points available. How many do you think United could take?
We
So
sh- we
2
need to
home
go-
games, 1 away game.
We should get all 9. We should get them. I don't know if we will, but we need to go for all 9.
Okay. Joe,
Say what?
9 points available against Leeds and Leicester. Are United taking, how many points are United taking out of those 9 points?
Leeds and Leicester, we should be able to take. Wait, if it's just Leeds and Leicester, wouldn't it be just 6 points?
No, we're playing
Nah,
Leicester,
we're
but
gonna
we're
play
playing
Leeds
Leeds twice.
We're playing these.
All 9
No.
points. All 9
All
points.
9 points?
We should be able to take. Yeah, we should be. Like,
Okay.
no, we should be. We
So
should be.
we'll
definitely-
beat Leeds at Old Trafford, beat Leeds away, beat Leicester home. You good with that?
Yes, because we're hurting on Casemiro, so we'll have difficulty moving forward and scoring. But defensively, we're solid, right? As long as
Right.
McFred doesn't play, I like the new guy. I'm just
Sabitzer.
going to call him Marcel because I can't pronounce his last name, at least not yet. Marcel, I like Marcel, and if he can, it's unfortunate that he now has to replace Casemiro instead of replacing Eriksen. But yeah, I think we can pull it out, right? There's no
9
reason
points.
why we should 9 points,
Okay.
definitely.
Kenneth.
Okay, so looking at the fixtures, we have Leeds at home. I think that's going to be 3 points because we're at
On
home.
Wednesday, right?
Yeah. Leeds away is a tricky one. Now.
It's very tricky. We got 0-0. We got 1 point there last season.
Yep, they're currently in the relegation zone, and they will throw the kitchen sink, microwave, fridge, everything at us to get something. So
Isn't that just Leeds though? That's their plan A, plan
Yeah,
B, and plan
it's
C.
the hatred between the
The
two
kitchen
teams.
sink.
Yeah, so that's where I think maybe we could draw that. But then the next Leicester, we're back at home, so I think 7, ideally 9 points, but I think 7 points. And the reason why we need to take those 7 points, by all means, and not lose, guess who we're playing next after that, the third game?
Ugh.
We're going to
Barcelona.
Anfield, guys. Anfield.
Oh, damn. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
if we can get 9 points, that would be brilliant. But it's just, like you said, on paper versus on the pitch. I'll
It's
say
two different
7
things,
points.
mate. Yeah. Ben.
Yeah. 7 points.
I actually agree with Ken in a way here, just because a lot of times in the past you see on paper we should get 12 points out of these next. It just always never
Something
happens that
always
way.
happens,
Something always happens. Even when we were looking before the Arsenal game, right? We were talking about, or even before City, we're like, was it because we had to run the games where we're playing?
Yeah.
I think we played
City, Palace, Arsenal.
Arsenal, and we said, okay, if
We
we
took-
can
we
just go
took
and
4.
beat, because we were in a good form, right? If
Mhm.
we went there and if we beat all those teams, we're in a title race.
Right.
That didn't happen.
We
And
drew a
it
lot.
just so happens that the game that we drew against Crystal Palace that we should have won, and we lost against Arsenal,
Mm.
that we could have won if we had Casemiro, because we played. It was.
Yes.
I mean, we could have won that game. So now we're missing Casemiro again. So I know I said
But we're also missing Ericsson. So
We're
two
also
out of the
missing
three
Eriksen.
key midfielders are away.
Yeah. We're also
So that
missing
means that
Eriksen,
midfield
we're
changes a
missing Van der
lot.
Beek.
Right.
That,
The midfield brings
Sabitzer
in-
comes right in.
yeah, so
Sabitzer
Sabitzer
comes,
doesn't
but
know our style of play, right? So that midfield
Yeah.
changes a hell of a lot.
it
Right.
changes a whole lot. I
Apparently-
will say, right?
Go on, Ben.
I will say, right, because we have limited options in that midfield, right? So everything that midfield has to click in every game. The chances of that clicking in every single game without Casemiro is, I would say, it's 50-50.
Right.
So based on all my analysis, right, that I've said, I think 9 points is possible, but it's a stretch. I would say 7 points.
7. So
The
two
home
wins
games,
and 1 draw.
2 wins,
Mhm.
and the draw will be away against Leeds.
Leeds.
Yeah, that's where I think
I will
so.
go with you. I would go with you and Ken. 9. I'll go 7 points. But if you don't forget, to have Leeds, Barcelona, Leicester, Barcelona. Leicester's right in between the 2 Barcelona games. So that kind of, I mean, Casemiro will play
Yeah.
the 2 Barca
Okay.
games. Joe, so you kind of see where this is all working out. Because we'll
Yeah.
play Barcelona, then play Leicester on the Saturday, then Barcelona in the midweek. Then
Yeah, we got
we'll
to
go
play
to
so much
Anfield.
games.
So it
Yeah.
will. I'm saying 7. I'll go 7 points.
You know what, man? You
It's
know what?
looking like
Eric Ten
that,
Hag
Joe.
is going to have to be creative in that midfield, right? I won't be surprised if we see Lindelof play one of those games, man, or play some kind of cameo. He has to change something because he can't play. I mean, you can, but you play. Okay, Sabitzer, Fred, Bruno. Sabitzer is a Fred, Bruno. There is no sub for the midfield. There's no one else except you bring in.
We got that new
Meno.
academy kid.
McTominay is injured.
Yeah.
Mano.
Yeah,
You're thinking
but
about
you're
Iqbal?
not gonna put him. But you're not gonna put those kids in this kind of in these kind of games, man. When we need to pick up points, I mean, just look at. I seriously doubt he's gonna bring in Meno. I seriously doubt because you only have Sabitzer, Fred, Bruno. He has to change it up some type of way in one of those games, or I don't know. Maybe play Lindelof in that CDM role for
No
a period
way.
of time.
Bring in
I
the academy players.
I really don't understand this Lindelof CDM thing.
Yeah,
done it,
I,
bro.
I,
He's
there
done
was
it.
nothing
No,
about
I-
his game
He said it.
that has
wait,
led me
wait,
to
wait,
believe
let me-
that
let-
he
He's
an
done
okay
it.
No,
CDM.
let me
done
ask
it,
you a
though.
question, Joe. Eric Ten
Yeah.
Hag said that Lindelof was trained as a CDM in Benfica. Eric Ten
Okay.
Hag played him as a CDM against which
Yeah.
game did he come on?
Can't
It
remember.
was it Reading or was it? I think it was
it
FA.
Nottingham Forest? Was it Nottingham
It was
Forest?
Nottingham Forest or Reading. It was one of those
Yeah,
cup games.
one
of
He
those-
came in towards
Don't,
the end.
don't you need
I'm
to
not
be a
saying he's
good
gonna-
tackler? Don't you need to be a good tackler as well as a CDM?
Well, he's
Yeah.
more like
Yeah.
a Pirlo, you know, like what's Jabi Alonso type DM. You know, when a
Exactly,
good
yeah.
ball playing DM, Jabi Alonso at Liverpool.
Exactly.
I don't see Lindelof as a good tackler.
I don't
see
think
him
that's a
at
good
all.
tackler. He
Like, I
struggles as a
just don't
defender.
fucking see it. He is
I-
not
I was
aggressive.
surprised.
He has never possessed any of the skills that I would imagine is interchangeable with Casemiro. There is nothing about
Yeah, but-
Lindelof's game that
Yeah, but
says
he doesn't have to
there's
be like
nothing about
Casemiro
Lind-
though.
No,
Say
it
what?
It doesn't have to be like Casemiro though. He doesn't have to be. You can. That's
if he
why
doesn't have
even
to be
if you
like
listen to
Casemiro,
Ten
why
Hag,
not just start somebody that actually does that for his position? Why not actually
Like
just
who?
have
the
beyond the
Scottish
kid?
lad.
No,
Who?
no.
who?
No,
Who's gonna do it like Casemiro though?
Nobody's
There's no
going to
one
be able to
else.
do it like Casemiro, right?
So Sabitzer
Because
will
it-
probably have to drop deep. Apparently, Sabitzer is
Yeah.
actually a better player than Ericsson, but he would have to play
Yeah.
a deeper role than going as an
Yeah.
attacker.
Bro, yeah.
And then
But
Fred is probably gonna-
Sabitzer's an
yeah.
attacking mid.
But my thing
Yeah.
is, no, he's not. He's not an attacking mid. He's
He
box and
is.
box.
He's
He
a- no,
contributes.
he's
Box to box. He's an 8. He's an 8.
He's an
He
8.
contributes
yeah,
a
he's an
lot
8.
up front.
Yeah, he
Yeah, but
does
that's
contribute
because
a
he's
lot
got
up
the
front.
energy to go back up and down
Yeah.
the pitch. Yeah, he's got the energy.
He's
to
not a
run.
10. He's
So
just,
okay,
he
so
even
who
said
plays
himself.
CDM?
He said himself. CDM is going to be Sabitzer. CDM is going to be Sabitzer, right? I will say this.
Number
right?
8 is offensive midfield.
Nah, number 8 is box to box, man. So
But
number 8,
and then Faye is
he,
an offensive
helps
midfielder.
attack and helps defense. 10 is
If you
10 is
look
the
it up,
offen-
Naya, look it up. 8 is an offensive midfield player.
Nah, 10
7
is the
Okay.
offensive midfield player. 6
No,
is the defensive.
Let's stick with the
Eight
let's
is-
stick
is
with
in
where we
between.
are. CDM.
I'll
you
send
say
you the
Sabitzer.
I'll send you the Google article, Bems. You can have a read later on.
Okay, so okay, send it to me. But
I
last time I checked, 8 was a box to box, and
Uh,
10 was the
CDM, who's
attacking
playing
and-
CDM?
CDM, I think CDM would be in, like Ben said,
Yeah,
you have to mix it up. But against, let's look at the next game we have to
Leeds
Depends on the
on
game.
Wednesday.
Leeds on Wednesday. You're gonna have Sabitzer and Fred in midfield with Bruno
Ahead
top.
of them.
That's what you're going to have. So
Yeah.
Sabitzer will be the deep line player because Fred cannot play that position. He runs around like a headless. He's not positionally aware of his surroundings. Sabitzer is more disciplined to play that role. And if you notice, Casemiro gets forward as well and can score goals. So Sabitzer, when we're attacking, Sabitzer will be able to assist, and then Fred can do the running
Fred
around.
has been scoring goals lately.
Yeah, we've all the to be honest, whether we're playing DM or AM or CM, all the midfielders have been contributing to goals, which is really good because we know we haven't got, we've got a lamppost up front doesn't score that many goals.
Right.
But yeah, so
I was gonna discuss that before we go.
Another option is to push Bruno to the right because we know
nothing comes from there. Nothing comes from when he goes right.
Push
I
push
forgot
Bruno
2
to the
weeks. We
right
also
and
got
play
Sancho.
Play Sancho as a 10. Remember, ATH in his last conference, he said he knows that Sancho can play in the 10 position as well. So you could try. So that's, if you're talking about
different combinations,
you can do that. Bruno, yeah. Sancho comes in on the 10 position. We'll see. We've got options.
Yeah, the options. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about Sancho.
But before we go, this someone said I should discuss it on today's topic. Are United doing enough to create chances for Weghorst?
No.
The horse.
Nope, they don't.
But he
does. He's a good hold-up player.
He's holding up play. Let me, Vim, you start off.
I think Weghorst gets a lot of unfair criticism. I mean, yes, it's a lot of pressure. He's just joined the club, and people expect him to bang in goals. It's not going to happen just like that.
We don't cross him.
He's a strong physical presence up front. He does put in the work. He drops deep into midfield. He defends everywhere on the pitch. I think it contributes a lot. He's not getting the goals yet, but it will happen at some point. The thing is, we're not the kind of team that just keeps crossing and whipping the ball into the box for a tall striker. We don't play that way. We're expecting goals from all over the pitch. So, you've got to just watch what Weghorst does for the team, and his work rate is much, much better than our previous number 9. So, go easy on the guy.
Joe,
come on. Come on, man.
I think the only reason, yes, it's a different kind of team. We're not just going to be, we don't have people that are just going to be feeding them. The type of play that we play, Weghorst is just too slow for it. He's too slow of a forward for the type of balls that we like to feed to our forwards. He's just too slow for it. Now, there are situations where if he was a better striker, especially around the box, he would be able to create space for himself for him to be able to take certain quality shots. Yeah. So some of the reason why he's not banging in goals is just because he's just not good enough. But instead of being that kind of player, he's just the guy that just keeps things going. Just like, because he soaks up defenses that come after him, right? Yes. And his job is to just continue laying it off, keep putting steady, just keep pushing it. And he's doing that job fantastically because he just doesn't have the skill set to be that guy at all. He's not fast
One thing
enough.
I want to add, Joe, as well, he does a lot of off-the-ball work. He takes players, he takes defenders with him, creating space for the attackers. He does a lot of good off-the-ball work.
Let me go to Ken.
Every part of Martial's game except scoring, basically.
Right. Kenneth.
So I remember in the group I did say I'll give him 5 Premier League games. So that would be, I think, I had the lead, one of the Leeds games on Leicester. Then I can give a final overall.
Okay.
But I'll leave it as it. For people saying that, and Joe made a very good comment. To be fair to him, what he does in terms of occupying the defense and letting people go. But did you realize as soon as Rashford came in that number 9 position, one cross, goal.
Boom.
But you got to understand.
That goal came from the number 9 position. Remember, between the sticks, what we're expecting Weghorst to do,
But he's having
Actually,
Rashford is having good form at the moment.
Yeah, but Rashford also
Rashford
has
under Ollie
there
was
was
not
a
banging those
fit-
goals in.
all
there was a-
Rashford
there
did
was a
was direct the
physical
ball into
ceiling.
the net.
Yeah,
Mm.
Rashford just.
But that ball was crossed into the box, and he just
Yeah.
tapped it in.
Yes.
But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is, why are United not putting those kind of the balls in the box for workers? They're not putting the balls on the
doing
ball.
this, and
I just think
He's not skillful enough.
Not.
Do you
because
know?
Joe said it. He's not skillful enough.
He's
No,
not
He's not
skillful
fast
enough.
enough.
I won't
He's not fast enough.
agree.
He's slow.
Rashford
And
is
I
a
was
better
don't
striker
I
than
don't think
Weghorst.
we've seen enough.
See. No.
No.
I will say this, right? I will say this because Vim took a shot at my guy Martial. He said, Bruce, no, I think I'm assuming you were referring to Martial.
No, not
opinion,
that
Martial-
number 9. Ronaldo number 9. Sorry, he's a number 7, but he was a number 9.
Okay.
That guy.
Triggered.
Okay.
Triggered.
But if you notice,
Mm.
this guy even puts crosses in, even though sometimes they're on the floor. Garnacho, but Fred doesn't cross anything. I'm sorry, he goes there and cuts the ball back or tries to dribble and
You
try
mean
to shoot.
Anthony, not Fred?
Anthony, sorry.
Anthony.
No one can cross.
Get your Brazilians
So
right.
where would the centre forward get the ball from?
The thing is, we haven't got any decent crosses anywhere.
We don't.
It seems
we don't.
Luke Shaw,
Our
Luke
best
Shaw is the
wingers-
best at the moment. Luke Shaw, that's
Our
it.
This is going to be a good
Our
crosser.
best wingers, right? The foot that they're supposed to be crossing the ball at is their weaker foot.
Mm.
So, like with Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right with his right foot, like that is their weakest foot to cross the ball. That's
That's the style of football we.
So we are not expected to cross. We're expected to cut in and shoot, right?
The
Cut in and shoot.
reason we're not putting a lot of crosses into the box is because the low is not playing. If you see the low, what Ten Hag likes to do, he likes to get his crosses with. If he wants to get crosses in, he likes it to come from the fullbacks, right? Luke Shaw is able to do it from the left side. Right?
Yeah.
But Wan-Bissaka is not able to do it consistently from the right side. He's not able to do it. So I mean, if you, no, let's be real. Wan-Bissaka he has improved, and he has played well so far.
Yes.
He has delivered some crosses into the box. I will give him that, right? But you can still sense his confidence is not like all the way. You can sense there's been some moments where he could have took a shot. He could have took a shot, but he decided to pass the ball. That's a player that's not really confident in playing that way. The low, if it was the low in another case, the low would be more confident to take the shot. But the low's delivery in the box is better. So, but when you have one player doing on the left side, you don't have the other doing on the right side. It's kind of more predictable.
Yes,
it's kind of more predictable. So you have to mix things up, right?
But to Tim's point, I believe Anthony needs to do a lot more, man.
I'm telling you, he does two things. He gets down the byline, cuts back, or goes across the line and tries to shoot with his left leg. That's it.
It's so obvious.
Yeah,
it's very easy to defend. It's
That's
easy,
all he can
very
do.
easy to defend.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that this is because it's his first season. Right. Hopefully, from next season he'll be better, but he just needs to improve.
I think he's overthinking it, man. I think he's overthinking it. But in my opinion, Weghorst, I think he's done well for the team. His all-round play off the ball. I don't think his hold-up play is as good as Martial. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's as good as Martial's. I don't think his link-up. I don't think his link-up play is as good as Martial's either. I don't think he's just. To me, he's a big, tall number 9, right? Who offers similar things that Martial does, but not as good.
You know what he does better than Martial?
He's a plan B, plan C. What?
He's available.
Well, good point.
Triggered.
At the end of the day.
Oh my God.
Fem's gonna lose it now. Fem's gonna lose it.
At the end of the day, bro. There is nothing
you know
can
what?
tell me. Like I can't.
I agree with you, Joe.
You have to be available.
Yeah. No, I can't say.
And he's been available for the last 5 games.
I will take Weghorst playing and rating at a 6.57 at best, and occupying that center
I think you're
position.
giving him too much
right?
credit. 7.
Okay, let's go with 6.
I'll say
Let's go with
5.5.
6.
I'll say 5.5.
Nah, I
Okay,
think it's more
okay.
than
No,
five.
no,
I'll give him a
Marshall
6,
say
minimum
six.
6.
Look at
If
you, man.
Weghorst
Yo.
keeps the two,
Oh my
if
God, man.
Weghorst keeps the 2 centre backs occupied,
He's done his job.
done
No, he
enough.
does.
He's done his
He
job.
does what,
Yes.
He's done his
no,
job.
to be fair,
Because
to
if
be
he
fair,
wasn't
right?
doing that, it would have to be Rashford being in that position. And Rashford wouldn't have anybody
Rashford doesn't do
quality
it very
on
well.
his left or his right to be
No, he
able
can't do it.
to
He
to
can't
feed it
do
off.
Rashford doesn't play that 9 position well enough
No, he
anyways.
can't.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
I know I'm a big Martial fan, but if you ask me, sell
We all
Martial in the
are
summer,
too. We all are too.
I would say Martial, I love you, bro, but you got to go. You can't stay healthy, man. He brings a lot to the team,
Yeah.
but
But
he's
that's I was
just
going to
not
ask you, Bims, how long do you think Marshall's going to last? Because I think it might be his last season.
Summer.
No, man. If
He's
it's
got to go summer.
if we can wrap him up and say, I would say Marcel, my bad, bro, man. It didn't. I love you, man. I love you, but you got to go. Is it my team?
Wow.
That is more
Yo,
important. You
wait a
gotta go,
minute.
man.
Yo, Ken.
It's too much.
Yo, Ken, you do realize this is like monumental. This is like when troops separated from Obama Yang. Right? This is on that level. You know, this is troops separated from Obama Yang right now.
I love Martial. I love him, but the guy got to go, man.
Yeah.
He just came back. He played
I
how many
know.
minutes and then he's out
He
again.
scored as well.
That's the problem. That's
Serious question though. How
right.
many posters of Martial have you got at home on the wall?
You know,
So there's a
I'm
guy.
like one of those kids that's got a big poster in my bedroom. Martial.
There's a guy that can do everything we want.
Right.
There's a guy that can do,
Any questions? Anyone got any questions before we go?
Yeah. There's a guy that can do everything we need as a striker.
Right.
Victor Osimhen. He can hold up.
How much
money.
is that?
Yeah,
How much is
yeah.
it?
He's good in the air.
120 now.
He can do the Martial job. He can hold up play. He's great in the air. He's clinical. He's an all-rounder.
And his price is
Maybe 120 million.
Guess who's trying to buy him though?
Chelsea.
Who's trying to buy him?
Chelsea. Oh, geez.
Are you serious?
Chelsea going in for him.
Chelsea
Yeah,
wants to buy the whole world, man.
That's what I'm
they
saying.
do.
If we can
No,
get
but
him,
Yo.
I bet you, right? I bet you, if you ask him which team he'd rather go to, I bet you would say,
Man United. 100%.
I bet you say Man United. I
But
bet you.
United are not paying 100 million for it. Not gonna happen.
Well,
If he's 100 million, how much is the
wait.
going rate for Mbappe? Just asking.
Mbappe is like 250 or something stupid.
Damn.
Yeah, Mbappe's on a different level. Mbappe's on a different level.
That ain't happening. We have to sell
But
half the
if
team.
you ask me, there is no way Victor Osimhen is going for less than 100. There's no way because they sold what's his name to Liverpool for 90 mil. What's his name?
Darwin Núñez.
Wow.
About 90 mil. I mean, the only reason why Haaland went for 70 was because of his buyout clause, right?
Yeah,
release clause. No way, Victor Osimhen, and then we have Enzo. They went from Benfica to Chelsea for what? 120?
120, yeah.
What?
Just I would say this, right? His price, this guy's price tag is gonna start. I would say 110, 120 start off.
But he's worth it if we can get this guy.
How old is he?
We need. He's like 25,
like 24 or 25.
Did you hear about Victor Osimhen's injury in 2021?
It's mostly like head or shoulder.
When he played for Napoli, his eye came out of his socket.
Yeah,
against Inter Milan, and he had 18 screws and 6 plates on his skull to repair it.
That's why he has to wear that goggle thing.
Like serious injury.
Wow.
Oh shit. Hey, man, it's a good thing this ain't the shooting champion league of the world. As long as it's nothing that got anything to do with his Achilles or his knees or his hamstring, yo, man, you pop that eye socket right back in. We'll keep this shit moving, bro. Get him in here. Get him in here. Get him in here, bro.
Any other questions? Anyone got anyone other questions?
Yo, he can be Batman all he wants, man. That's okay. Give me the fucking, I'm good with that. Get him in here, man. Come on.
Okay. Anybody wants any other questions?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, right?
Right.
Victor Osimhen versus versus Harry Kane, who would you take?
Oh, Osimhen any day.
Osimhen,
thing is,
Osimhen is younger. One.
younger.
Yeah.
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 But
Why
Harry
do they
Kane,
keep?
Harry Kane's price now is about 60, right? It's 60.
Yeah,
Isn't-
but why do they keep touting
Harry
this
Kane
Harry
is
Kane
cheaper.
story? It's just crazy.
Yeah, he won.
I bet you he
He's
will
now
come to
the
United.
Spurs greatest player of all, greatest scorer of all time. He broke the record today.
Yeah, he broke it today,
But he's
man.
20,
They gave him a
29
bottle
years
of
old.
champagne with HK on it.
It'll be
HK
30 soon.
267.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you ask me, right, it's a hard one, man. But I tell you, Harry Kane is cheap.
Harry Kane is proven in the English
He's
league.
proven in the Premier
What?
League. You're
He's
guaranteed.
proven in
we
Premier
want
League.
such an old player.
He's just going to continue where he left off from Spurs. You're
Yeah.
It'll be a
you
bad
are
team, though.
guaranteed
Bems,
20,
who would
25
you
Going to
goals.
be 30.
Bems, who would you go with? Who would you go for? Bems.
You know what, right? I would more likely I would go. I'm more likely go for Victor Osimhen, right? More than likely. But Harry Kane is proven.
Yes.
Harry Kane is proven. He's cheaper,
Mm.
right? He's proven and he's cheaper, and he's good. He's just gonna pick off where he left off, and he's gonna be so good in this United team, bro. Oh
Yes, he will
man,
be. Yes. Yeah.
he'll be so
very good.
nice. He's gonna slot in. I would tell if I would say Martial, I'm sorry, man. I help you pack your bags because I'm getting Harry Kane.
Well, what about how loyal are you, bro? Packing his bags too? Nah, man, you're a bad loyal fan.
I am a United fan. At the end of the day, I don't care if we gotta sell. Let's say Bruno wasn't playing well or Bruno was off it. If we have to sell him to get someone better, I will sell him. I don't care. I'm at this point.
That's how
I
big
want
clubs
United
work,
to win trophies.
Right.
That's all. I'm tired of not winning anything. I'm tired.
Do you not think we should be going for younger strikers though? We brought back a proven striker, Ronaldo. It didn't work out for him.
The first season worked out.
Here's the thing.
First season.
Also,
Let's get it right.
Kane-
Let's get it right.
I
Oh.
will go for Victor Osimhen. I'm just messing around. I will go for Victor. I will go for him.
So like if we're gonna be tight pocket about it, I would go for Harry Kane, right?
Yeah, maybe
Because
money.
so like if it's a money issue, go for Harry Kane. Like let's say Victor would have cost 120, right? I would have gotten Harry Kane for the 60 mil, and then I would have gotten key points on key players in other places. Right back, central midfielder, backups. Maybe a backup for David De Gea. So
Goalkeeper,
and then use also the time to evaluate who needs to stay and who needs to go. If that's the case, if that's what also would happen with Harry Kane, I think we're a better squad in general, right?
Yes,
but if it's about like getting a killer, right, and us, we still even if we got Osimhen, we still have to invest in the midfield. Still have to invest on the right.
But Harry Kane's contract ends in 2024. So they're going to try and cash in as much as they can. Do you not think 60 mil is too much when he's got a year left in his contract?
No, it's not.
No. But
it's not for Harry Kane, bro.
It's not too much.
All-time record
I
scorer.
would agree. He would go for around.
He's English. Don't forget, he's English. The money is different.
No. I'll put it this way, right? If you're paying 80 mil for Harry Kane versus Victor 120. Might as well just go for Victor. There's no need paying
Victor we can have for the next 10 years. Harry Kane's probably last a couple of years. Also, Harry Kane has got consistent problem with his ligaments in his
yes,
ankles.
he does go get
ankle injury every single season.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about this guy? What about Benjamin? What about Benjamin Sesko?
Well, this is the other thing. You've got Vlahovic and Sesko, young strikers that are up and coming in the world. We should look at young people as well.
Yeah, those ones are nice too. But I would say if you get Harry Kane, right? If you get Harry, let's say you get Harry Kane and you're able to get another midfielder, you get a right back, like you're able to fill the other positions and get guaranteed.
Sesko and Vlahovic are going for a similar price as Harry Kane.
60 to 70 million.
Is he proven in the Premier League?
No, they're not proven in Premier League, but they're good strikers around the world.
Yeah. I know. But the thing about it is that Kane, you know for a fact, right? You're taking goals from Spurs and you're bringing it to United.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
Lift and shift.
It's just lift and shift. It's just you're just lifting and shifting it. That's all.
Right.
You are guaranteed going to win a lot more games with Harry Kane for sure.
Because
You're
look at, it's a
guaranteed
good
gonna
point,
be in
Bems.
the conversation
Because
for trophies.
look at Darwin Núñez. Have you seen the comment he made to Sky Sports? He was like, "This league
Second
is too
season.
tough for me." Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
"This league is too
he
tough.
thinks it's going to be a second
Every
season
team's
wonder.
good." He was like, "Every team is good. I can't believe this is." I posted it in the group, right? I think I did. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Check this, yeah.
I'll post it.
Sesko's price is actually 41.8 million. That's good value.
Who does Sesko play for currently now?
So he was
Salzburg.
playing for Salzburg,
Yeah, Red Bull.
but Leipzig bought him. They've already agreed to pay, I think, is it 25 million or something to pick him up this summer. However, United can gazump that deal. Well, not gazump the deal, but speak to Leipzig and say, look, you've paid 25, but we're actually going to give you 50 to take him.
After him, wasn't he suggested for us in the summer?
Yes, we were.
I thought so. The name reminds me. I remember now.
Yeah, because ETH came in and there was a lot of them looking for midfielders and then we didn't take it up, and then Leipzig came in and paid 25 million pounds to take it.
And guess how old he is?
He's 23, right?
19 years old.
19. Damn, that's
a young striker.
That's potential, though. That's potential.
40 million, 19 years old.
But that's potential.
And he's 6'5".
That's not proven.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to take a risk with potential. Yeah, but you can't have everything proven.
Martial was a potential.
Let the data do the talking. You do the analytics on him and find out what he's good at. If he meets the criteria to bring him into a club, we bring him. It's good value. Is one for the future.
I agree. I do agree with you, but his age 19. He's 19.
Football is a young man's game.
It's a bigger risk. I would rather go for Victor, man, because at least Victor is.
But if we can't afford Victor, you've got to go for someone cheaper. Sesko is a viable option. Million. Yeah, it's 3 times the price.
Right. Any other questions? Anyone going? Ben asked the first question. Anyone else got a question? Vim, Kenneth?
Yeah, I got another question though. I got another question when everyone asks. So.
Go on.
Oh, I can ask it. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question, right? Do you guys, when it comes to this title race, right? Do you think that Arsenal will pretty much more than likely going to win this thing, or do you think it's still kind of open?
Okay, I'll answer that. Go first. I think it's still open. We saw City lose today, but City going to play Arsenal twice. That's still coming. City are not on a good form at the moment. They're not. But there's something in my gut that tells me there's still something City are going to turn around in giving the next 4 games. They're going to pick up. So I'm hoping that City will put pressure, because Arsenal are more scared that City will catch them than any of the other teams. Yes. So had City won today, Arsenal start looking like, oh, these guys are back. You see what I mean? So the more City mess up, it's easier for Arsenal to make a run for it. So I'm hoping City, if City get a run together, City will win the title.
Yes.
I agree. I'm also gonna.
So when people say, even though I come from a Spurs family, I didn't want Spurs to beat City today for the fact that I wanted City to be closer to Arsenal, to put more pressure on Arsenal, so Arsenal could feel the heat. Because if you remember, City can just put 10 games straight easily. They can do it. But with Haaland now, the game kind of changed.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's something wrong with City, man.
Yeah,
I don't see how City put in that 10 run of games. I don't see it. Not after today.
I know Arsenal were shocked when they lost to Everton. They were shocked yesterday.
Their formula has been
cracked. Arsenal have Brentford next. I know that's good, but that is a tough game for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a derby. That's a derby.
It's a tough game for Arsenal.
Is it at Brentford or at the Emirates?
In my opinion, right?
It's at the Emirates. But
that's 3 points. They will find a way. They'll get 3 points.
Yeah,
Arteta will find a way to keep talking at the referee and the linesman that this and that, distract them.
Yeah,
they'll get a victory.
Yeah, but how did Everton beat Arsenal?
Sean Dyche, I was surprised.
No,
they deserved it.
Man, that's new manager bounce, man.
Did Everton play well yesterday, though? Did they play well?
Everton played. Look, they hooked him up with three solid cent Onana. Decore, and that guy that used to play for, that went to PSG. What's his name? Played for PSG. The guy that said he wasn't. He didn't want to wear the. Yes, Idrissa Gueye. Locked off that midfield. Look at that midfield. It's really good. Onana was doing all sorts of skills. You know, Decore, they killed them in midfield. And every time Saka got the ball, the left back Mikulovsky and what's his name, O'Neill doubled up on him. Even on the right with what's his name, Martinelli, the right Seamus Coleman, and Iwobi doubled up on Martinelli. So they locked off the midfield, locked off the wings, and then hit them with long balls. You know, the typical Burnley.
So you know what? Sean Dyche's game plan was excellent, man.
That guy.
I know Arteta was shocked. He must have been shocked because he probably thought, okay, yeah, we wouldn't beat them.
I wish we had a better game plan against them.
Yeah, I just feel that
I seriously.
The goal, that Saka goal could have been avoided. That Saka goal still haunts me. That goal that Eriksen, they didn't close him down. You know he's left-footed. It's just like when Anthony scores, you know he's going to score with his shoot with his left leg, but you give him so much space.
You let him do it.
It doesn't make sense. But
that was annoying.
That hurt.
Yeah. That's what happens when you have the Scottish lad there. That's why.
That's what happens when you don't have Casemiro there.
Yeah.
My friend calls. I don't know if Benz. You know, Louis. We have a guy, Louis. He's a Houston Red Army. He's been on my show for the last couple of weeks. And he calls Scott McTominay Scooby-Doo, always disappearing in the game.
Yeah, where are you?
That's Scottish.
He hides away from the pass.
Yeah, he said the same thing you said, that he's always hiding.
He's always hiding.
The guy,
a true midfielder comes to the defense and says, give me the ball, give me the ball. Yes. He goes the other way. I don't want it.
He's not a midfielder, man. I don't even know what position.
Remember, he was a trained striker. He was a trained striker.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't. Well, he's striking. I think
he can shoot a ball. He has a good shot.
So would you rather have Scott McTominay or Weghorst up front?
Now you're taking a piss. No,
I'll have Weghorst up front. I'll have Weghorst up front. Any other questions before we round up?
Well, I was gonna say this though in follow up to the question I had about the title. Challenge. I seriously think this season. I seriously think if Ten Hag had gotten a couple more players that he wanted, I seriously think Ten Hag would put up a fight for that title.
Right.
Yes.
Just my opinion from seeing the way we've been playing, seeing the growth in the team. I seriously think if he had been given a couple more players, especially
in the January window.
You know what? I'm gonna say
you're talking about the January window, right?
Even both January and
the first window he spent a lot, 200 million.
Yeah, even if let's say this January window, I would say this: if Martial was fit for majority of the season, I seriously, if Martial was fit and we didn't lose Casemiro for that Arsenal game, I think we would have been. I would say max 3 points off of would have beaten Palace. I think we could have beaten Arsenal. And I think we would have been max 3 points off Arsenal. I think we would have been comfortably in second place, and I think we would have been in the title race.
The thing is, every team goes through a blip in the season where they just start losing points.
Yeah,
it's going to happen to Arsenal, and it's going to happen. It's happening to City. It's happened to us. Like, if we now go on a good run, and those guys slip up a couple more times, Arsenal especially slip up a couple more times, so we're back in it again.
How many points are Arsenal ahead of us? 8, right?
This weekend,
8 points, but Arsenal got a game in hand.
Yeah, this weekend, City and Arsenal lost. We've gained 3 points on them.
Yeah, we need it to happen a couple more times.
Yeah, if we need to get 3 more times. So Arsenal play Man City in 2 weeks, or is it next week? I think it's next week.
I think those City games.
If City and Arsenal draw, ideally Arsenal City draw is good for us. So we want them to draw both of their fixtures.
The first game
I would say this.
We're 8 points. We're 8 points from top.
How many points are we from City?
We're just 3 points behind them.
3 points behind City. 8 points behind Arsenal.
We could catch City. We could catch City.
No, we can catch both of them. We can catch both.
Can catch both of them.
It just depends. It depends on if we can sustain this these this form. But the only thing is,
How? Let me throw
I
this
don't think we're
question
gonna
out.
catch him because we have so many games we're playing, man, and we don't have the depth.
Right, let me throw this
That's
question.
the
This is
thing.
just a question. Ken, how would you feel if United, out of nowhere, come April, United win the league title? Would you be like, what
Tim,
the hell?
I've thought about that, Tim.
April.
No,
I've been looking at
football's a
it
funny
clearly.
game. You know, football's a
This
funny
can
game.
Yeah,
happen.
it's all funny
It
game.
can
Yeah.
happen. It
It can happen.
Like Bem said, if Martial can come back fit, you know, and Casemiro gets his act together, and we're all firing on all
And
cylinders.
stops getting cards.
If Sabitzer hits the ground running, there's a lot of ifs, but
Yeah.
we can actually do it. We can.
It's
Because
possible.
it's not foregone
Possible.
it's not foregone conclusion just yet.
But
It's
you
only
know
8
what?
points
It's
in
not
it.
a wrap.
There is a
But don't
problem,
forget
though.
Newcastle.
Yeah, but
Don't
there is a
forget
problem.
Newcastle.
There's a problem in our squad. We're not getting enough goals from all over the
I
pitch.
think so too. We're not.
We're
Yeah.
only scoring through Rashford. And Bruno is chipping in as well. We need
Yeah, he
others to
started just
score.
started chipping there.
Yeah,
I think we need
Yeah.
Anthony needs to step up. Sancho needs to step up.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Even
want more
Gnabry needs to start
midfielders. We
scoring.
want midfielders scoring. We want defenders scoring with their heads in set pieces.
Casemiro is chipping in. Casemiro is
Yeah.
chipping in. Fred's
Yeah.
chipping in.
Yeah.
I think
Fred
I
does-
actually think
Fred's-
midfielder chipping in fine. I think
Yeah, and
midfielder
then
chipping
we,
in very fine.
you know, and I remember in the title-winning seasons, we had every single player on our pitch scoring,
scoring a goal.
except for the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
Every
everyone,
single player,
the fullbacks, everyone had to go.
everyone.
Yeah, no, that's when like a team that actually wins titles, you have more players in the team chipping in.
Yeah.
Yeah, then your goals,
totally
your goals,
agree.
all
So
your
that
goals
means
are going higher.
we need Wan-Bissaka to start scoring as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. Yeah,
Oh,
that would be
If he can
great.
score or the low score, and if the low can come
That
back
would
and
be
take
great.
that. Nah, but it is very possible, and I can only just if we had beat Arsenal,
Yeah,
Or even got a draw.
it was so
Or
key.
even got a draw. Yeah, that even
or
if
at
we
least got a draw. Yeah.
yeah, that
And we were
defeat,
close to getting that draw. So close to getting a
Yeah.
draw.
Feel I don't want to think about it. It just hurts.
But look, they've dropped points now, so that's a
Yeah,
good thing.
so it's a good
Yeah.
thing. So I think they play City soon. I think they're playing at Emirates first, and I'll tell you, Arsenal, they're quite good at home. They're really good at home.
yes, at home they're like
Yes.
at home,
But do you look? Think about this,
Newcastle
though,
got
right?
a draw
Think
there.
about
Newcastle-
this.
I
Think
would
about
say
this, right? Think about this.
The way City played today, Arsenal would beat City, man.
No, but think about this, right?
roll them over.
Pep
Yeah.
Pep was Arteta's boss at City. Do you really think that he's going to let his understudy beat him? I think he's going to pull out all the guns and he's going to try and make sure that he does not get beaten.
The problem-
Yeah, he knows it.
My
He,
fear.
but Arteta is basically Pep 2.0. He's learned everything from him. His style
Yeah.
of football.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all Pep. I
Yeah.
don't think the master wants the apprentice to beat him.
No, I don't think so
Well,
either.
Yeah. So
my
I
fear is
think
if the players will execute though. If City
So-
players will execute what Pep
they
wants
can
to.
they can execute, and we've seen him do it.
So what do you
I
guys
just
but
think
today
I
they
think
didn't
Pep's
execute,
going to
man.
have to outsmart Arteta.
Today they didn't execute today though.
No, they didn't
no,
play
they
well.
didn't.
Even the goal they gave up, it was a defensive
Ooh.
mistake. They were just messing around.
Pep does
Ah.
these things where he just mixes and matches things, you know. Like today, what is that kid playing in midfield? Why is he playing in midfield?
Instead of De
Which
Bruyne.
kid?
Question
Who
that.
is it?
Yeah.
De Bruyne, yeah, that kid.
Yeah.
Which kid was it?
82.
Number
Nico
82,
Lewis.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just
He's
ridiculous.
one of the
Nico
fullbacks.
Lewis.
The other
It's-
thing I
it's
found
a
bizarre as
tactical
well.
thing that Pep likes to do.
Yeah, but
And
the
why
other
is
thing,
he
the other thing I
One
found
at a time,
bizarre.
one at a time.
Alvarez.
Go on, Ken. Ken,
Why
go
is he
on.
playing Alvarez and what's his name, Haaland in mid? You know, one striker's giving you issues, and then you go and play two strikers, Haaland and Alvarez. That's not going
And
to work.
yeah, and there were moments in that game where they were both running in the same. They were both
Yeah,
in the
the
same
same
area.
runs, yeah.
So it's like you're playing with. I think Pep. He likes to overthink stuff, man.
Yes,
he likes
yeah.
to overthink stuff.
Right, let me bring in Vim.
I think Pep, he likes to be a genius in football. He likes versatility. He
Right.
likes to rotate his team around, and he wants to show everyone, look, my style of football works with all different players in my squad, even changing positions. I think he's almost like a genius in football coaching, that he wants to mix it up and show the world that he can change it around and still win. This is why I think
Right.
he experiments a lot. The other thing as well, but the one thing I found really bizarre is that how he let Cancelo go to Bayern Munich. I found that really bizarre.
That was bizarre. Right, let me give you this question. If Arsenal play City, are you hoping for a draw? Are you hoping City will beat Arsenal? Ken?
No,
Oh, that's a good question. So basically, to rephrase your question, what you're saying is, Would you rather Arsenal win the league or City win?
No,
the
no.
league?
On that, when they both meet for the 3 points, they have to play to each other. They go play each other twice. And don't forget, Arsenal got beaten in the FA Cup by Man City last week. So Arsenal out of the FA Cup. City.
I say City to win. I hate Arsenal. Sorry,
Right.
guys.
Bems.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I want City to win those 2 games, man. I don't want Arsenal coming. I don't want these fans coming down here talking shit, man. It's that's the one thing that I dread. I can take a lot of fans, but Arsenal fans, I can't take it, man. I can't take
The good thing about City is you don't see any real City fans around. Even if you just say you're a glory hunter, just tell them, look, you're a glory hunter. When did you start supporting City?
Don't they pay for the fans to go into the stadium?
Exactly.
There you go.
Like,
exactly. There you go.
So, Vim, your
Arsenal
take.
fans is ridiculous.
My take is
City or Arsenal, when they both
keeping
meet.
these personal grievances out of the way, I want them just to draw both games.
Both games
That
draw?
basically slows down the accession to the top of the table and gives us a chance. So
Wow.
I'm thinking in terms of
Arsenal will still be ahead though.
well, but only by 5 points against City. So if Arsenal goes up only by 2 points, they're on 52. Man City goes up by 2 points, they're on 47.
But then you would need
they're
us,
within
you would
reaching
need us
distance.
to keep winning.
We need to win. Yeah, we need to keep winning.
Yeah.
We need to keep winning. So the
if-
best thing for us as a club is that they draw both games.
Have you included Arsenal's game in hand?
They got one game in hand. That's right. Yeah.
One.
Who's
that against?
They played that game in hand.
I
They
don't know.
played that game in hand in like a week or two.
I think it's City. I don't know.
I think it's maybe it's City, but I think if Arsenal beat City in one of those games, I think it might be over, man.
Yeah,
I think
more
it's
or
done.
less.
That would be bad. That would be
But
bad.
there's 38 games in the season. We've only just crossed the halfway point.
Yeah, we just got to 2021. So there's 17 more games to go.
Yeah.
Arsenal
but
need to go to
imagine
Anfield.
A lot of games.
I mean,
man.
I know Arsenal got Anfield. I mean,
They got
Liverpool are not what they used
The
to
way
be.
Liverpool play.
You don't count
Yeah.
Liverpool, man.
Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention. We have to. I hope ETA watches that Wolves and Liverpool game and see exactly how they beat them.
Liverpool are giving away points like offering baskets.
My God.
Right. But also, I keep telling you, don't forget Newcastle. Newcastle went to the Emirates and got a point. We couldn't get a point. Newcastle, they don't lose games. Yesterday they drew. That was just a West Ham just sat back and hit them on the run. But Newcastle don't concede a lot of goals.
And
So
we
don't
play them in
forget
the final.
Newcastle, they haven't lost a game. They haven't lost a game since they've only won one. They lost one game, but they haven't lost a game in 16 games or something like that.
They came to Old Trafford and got a point. They played a 0-0 draw with us.
But they also don't win many games. They draw a lot of
They
games.
draw a lot.
They draw a lot
Like
of
yesterday
games.
was
And-
another 1-1 they drew.
Yeah, and we play them in Wembley on the 26th of this month.
Yep.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough game, bro.
Can
That's
Arsenal
gonna be a tough game.
go to the St. James and get a result? I don't really think they
I
can.
don't think exactly. I don't think they can go there and win. I think at best
They'll get a draw.
Yeah.
So Newcastle
that's-
also
okay,
got
so-
say in this
Yes.
high to
Okay. So how many points? Okay. So who else you think Arsenal is probably gonna lose to before the?
okay, out the two city games, Arsenal's gonna lose one.
Mm-hmm.
They must
Okay.
lose one. Arsenal got to go to Anfield. I don't think they'll get a result there. I think they'll get a draw. I don't think they'll get a result at Anfield.
In Anfield, the way Liverpool playing.
No, Liverpool are not doing well
Liverpool, they're-
away. They're playing okay at home, but away they're struggling
Man,
badly.
Liverpool.
The thing is,
Liverpool
right?
just got their legs wide open, man. You're
The
welcome.
thing is with Arsenal, right? If Saka gets injured or Odegaard gets injured, because remember they play every single game, I think that could derail them a little bit.
Especially
definitely.
Saka.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they-
'Cause
Saka
that's
gets-
the main attacking force. Them two,
Mm.
and the guy who scored the winning goal against us at Emirates, what's his name?
Nketiah.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Them three.
Yeah, but he doesn't bang in the goals every game apparently.
Yeah.
Nah, he's not banging it.
Not every game. He did it against us, and it was excellent then. But Saka, I think, is probably the main guy in that
Yeah,
team.
he's the main guy. He comes off
Main
the
guy.
wing. He
Yeah.
comes off the wing.
That's why they
He's
lost.
devastating.
Because Everton dealt with him properly. They had
Yeah.
they almost
And we couldn't do that.
gouged his eyes
We
out.
didn't.
There was one
We
time he
didn't
got
shut it.
injured and his
Yeah.
eyes someone whacked him on the eye because they were so onana. Yeah.
The thing is, you know who was closing down Saka for those goals? Probably our worst defensive player on the pitch,
Eriksen.
Eriksen.
Ericsson and
Yeah.
McTominay. Ericsson for the first one, the second goal that Saka scored, the second one. Goal
Yeah,
number two.
the winner was
Was too
McTominay
good.
sliding around like
He should have played Fred
doing
from the beginning.
moonwalking on the. You remember the ball came across. All McTominay had to do was stand on his feet, follow the and then what position he slid. Remember that the ball came across to Zinchenko. When the ball was played across to Zinchenko by Xhaka, he slid and missed the ball, committed himself. He was on the floor, and then Zinchenko crossed it in. But anyway, speaking of which, Arsenal still have to play Chelsea, and I know Chelsea are not playing well, but they've signed all these players.
They better play well. They better play well.
Eventually,
Yeah, they got to play Chelsea. So
that's in April, yes.
yeah, they got.
Please let Arsenal not win this league, man. I don't.
And then don't forget, there also these low block teams that could get a result. There are the low block teams.
Have you seen this Kelechi guy? This Kelechi guy on Instagram, man. This dude, he's making.
Oh, the Arsenal guy. Oh, that Arsenal fan.
Man.
Oh, he's something else.
Dude, he's rubbing it in. When I mean rub, he's rubbing this shit in. He rubs every
Yeah,
week.
he did part of the Arsenal fan
Every
TV.
week.
Yeah, I remember him.
Like I open up and I see this guy, man. He's at watch parties. He's man. This dude is
just unfollow him, man. For now,
I don't even. I don't. When I see, I just bloop, next. I just when I see on my phone, I just keep it moving. I've got enough friends who are Arsenal fans to tell me enough of what's going on. My best mate in London, he's an Arsenal fan, so I get enough text from him, so it's all good.
Is he still your best mate?
Yeah, we went at university together. We went Greenwich together. So yeah, that's not
we got Chris's cousin too.
He's my son's godfather, and I'm his daughter's godfather. So yeah, we talk. And every time I go to London, we go to watch an Arsenal game.
Yeah, but doesn't he always wind you up about Arsenal top of the league now?
The funny thing, he's not one of those guys. He's like, you know what? He just feels like he take one game at a time. He's not one of those exuberant because he's from the back in the day. He's from the old school. When Arsenal were nobody's in the 80s. He's from that era.
Does he watch your show?
Yeah, he's my best mate.
Shout out to him, man. Best mate.
Yeah, he was supposed to come on when we were doing the preview against Arsenal. But,
Yeah.
I won't get him. You guys have. I think you've. I think you've been on the show with him, Greg. I think you have.
Greg? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Well, goddamn, I have a friend who's also a VAR person. I wanted to get him on today, but he said he couldn't. So he's a Newcastle fan, but he's a VAR. He went
we
to the
can
two
ask him
last.
about the Casemiro incident.
Yeah, he went to the two last World Cups as a VAR person, and he was at Anfield for VAR yesterday.
Oh, really?
I want to get him in. Yeah, I want to get him in next. If I get him in next week, like just to how this thing actually works.
Should get your
I'm
referee
hoping
friend
he's
on
not one
again.
of those, I'm hoping he's not one of those those political type guys like the last guy we had here.
Oh,
that guy was too political, man.
Oh, the
I mean,
referee.
the referee. He was good.
The brown
It was
wallet.
good.
Remember the brown wallet guy?
No, we were teasing him about that.
He was a good guy. He was a good guy. I'll
But
get him back.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I'm sure
I think
had a
he's
few-
playing it by
a
the
few brown
rules.
wallets slipped under.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'll get my VAR friend. I'll ask you, like, come on, because he's always like, yes, he was at Anfield. And he sometimes send me photos when they're doing the VAR for the United games because he goes via Sky Sports. So yeah, I'll get him in advance. Like, listen, I need, if you're free, because our next show is going to be next Sunday after the Leeds game, and he'll be. I don't
Does
know
he
what
need
game.
does he need a brown wallet to be to
He's
come on the show?
well paid by Sky Sports. He's good. He's independent.
He's well paid. Okay.
He's well paid.
All right.
I'll see his schedule because I don't know. He might even probably be doing the MANUTD Leeds game, so he won't be able to come.
Really?
Yeah, he might be in that.
Hey, you
VAR.
have to call in some favors, man. Like,
He's
say,
a
look,
Newcastle fan.
just say, pretend, just ignore Casemiro, whatever he does. Just ignore him on the
So
screen.
he's gonna be working. He's gonna be working the Leeds game.
He might be. I don't know which game because he was working the Liverpool Wolves game yesterday.
Man, come on, Tim.
Yeah, you gotta call in some favors,
I
man.
can't do that. He's a professional. He's done the last two World Cups.
Guys, we need to start collecting for the brand envelopes.
2018 and
Yeah?
2022.
Guys, we need to start collecting for brand envelopes.
Yeah.
On that note, that's a good note to end this show on. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Vim, Kenneth from London, thank you very much. And Bez, Houston Red Army, I appreciate it. Joe said his phone died on him, but it is what it is. But it's been a pleasure working with you guys. So we'll see how we are this week. We got Leeds on Wednesday. and
Yeah.
Leeds on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Then Barcelona,
Back to
then
back.
Leicester, back to back.
It's like Champions League, yeah.
Yeah.
Home and away.
So, but the first game's at Old Trafford on Sunday. First game's at Old Trafford this Sunday. I mean, this Wednesdays. Then on
Yes,
Sundays at Elland Road.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a tough game, but I think I see 7 points.
Yeah.
I'll take 9. I'll
Yeah,
take
that's what
9.
I think too.
Yeah.
I'll take
You know
9,
what?
but
You've
I'll
got to
take
say
7.
though, you've got to say it's enjoyable watching Man United play twice a week now. It's
Yeah.
something to look forward to.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. And you know, the cup
do
final
know
is going to
him.
be something to look forward to. You know, going to
Ooh,
Wembley.
man.
Has anyone got tickets?
I wish I could be in the UK for that. I will literally.
Yeah.
I'll
Ken, any of you
literally
got
fly over
plans
for
to
that
Wait, how
go?
much are
final if I
tickets?
can get
Oh,
tickets.
it's
Expensive,
ridiculous, man. It's so expensive. You're looking at 500, 600 pounds.
Minimum.
I got
Which is
kids to
like-
feed. I got a child to
That's
feed.
like 600, 700
That's a lot,
pounds.
man.
That's
That's
a lot of money to spend for 90 minutes.
For 9 minutes. It's a lot. Seriously, yeah. 600 is
If I
money.
get
It'd be
tickets,
cheaper
I
to
will
get-
fly over
Max
for
I'll
the game.
pay.
It's
It will be
cheaper.
200
just-
pounds. Will
yeah.
be max. For me, 200 pounds is reasonable. Anything over is like, I mean, really,
£200 is okay.
yeah.
Man, but that
That's
would be nice, though,
$250.
man. To actually be in that final.
Would you pay? Would you
be
pay that,
nice.
Bims? 500-600 for a
What?
ticket?
Hell no. What do you think I am?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't.
I don't have that.
Did,
I don't
did
have
you
that
guys
type-
have
nah.
Beyonce tickets at
You
1,000?
know how much that's in dollars? That's what, £500-600 is what?
$800,
$900.
No, it's
Yeah.
about £600 is about $690 in US.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nearly
For
$700.
real?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's still a lot
the
of
dollars has gone stronger against the pound.
It's gotten stronger, yeah.
It's still a lot of money though.
Did you
It's-
guys
it's-
hide-
Our
did you
pound,
girls-
our pound has become weaker since we had Brexit.
I still gotta buy my flight ticket. I still gotta buy my flight ticket.
There you
go.
I gotta get
Mhm.
nah, man.
That's a couple of
Yeah, it's
grand,
too
man.
much.
Did you guys
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
Beyonce's tickets are going out for 1,000?
That's ridiculous.
1,000. She's coming to
face-
she's coming to
face
Europe
value.
first. She's coming to Europe first.
Face value or reseller price?
Face value.
That's a lot.
Ticketmaster is selling them for $950 a ticket.
Yes.
Damn.
That's a lot.
So some people are saying that's the rent for the month that they're prepared to take that sacrifice to go see Beyonce. Like, good for
Basically, it's just entertainment for the rich now, isn't it?
Mm.
you. Yeah, she went to Dubai. Didn't she go Middle East
Yeah,
recently?
you got
Mm.
paid how many millions to go? And
24 million.
Yeah.
Wow. What
Come
can I
on,
say?
guys. But you guys, but UK guys, y'all should be able to get some tickets, man. for
No,
cheaper than
you
that,
used
man.
to go. I used to go with Chris and Rich, but it's just that when players like when Ollie came in, and you take the day out, you rent a car, you go travel all the way there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
I know
and the
those
team
days.
loses,
Yeah.
and then you fall
Oh,
into
man.
depression.
Yes, on your way back, you're like, why am I doing this to myself?
Right,
The early
gentlemen,
days, man.
have a nice week, guys.
Oh,
You
that's
have a
funny,
nice
man.
one.
You too.
You take care. Don't forget to share,
one,
like,
guys.
and subscribe. Take
All
care. Thank you.
Yes, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.